Sorry movie, you're gonna have to hand over your seriousness card right off the bat. I'll give it back when you explain yourself properly. Before we set the scene, let's establish how pointless the last two films were in terms of faction dominance, as despite losing a large amount of their highest class ships, the Supremacy, their flagship, the Supreme Leader, and all of the power they'd established him having, as well as their giant solar system level destruction Starkiller base not 5 hours earlier, the First Order is still firmly in control, despite their leader being an impulsive, useless dick. Why the universe hasn't got their collective shit together and done anything about it is anyone's guess, but hey, we'll get to that. The opening text crawl really sets the scene here. Palpatine announcing to everyone he's back. Okay, I've seen the movie. He doesn't have this preliminary announcement of his existence anywhere in the film. He does broadcast it galaxy-wide at one point, but that's after the heroes already know that he is definitely returned. Supposedly, this extremely important announcement in one of the world's most beloved and lucrative series was made in Fortnite. Yeah. This announcement has got Kylo's jimmies in quite the ruffle, and it is stated that he rages across the galaxy, searching for the Phantom Emperor. Sure, so how much time has passed since the end of the last movie? Well, that's the funny thing, you could make it a couple of weeks or a year, and nothing much would change. The characters are all pretty static from their representation in the last film, the only thing that changes is the situation that they're in, and again I'll get to that. The real question is, what exactly did Palpatine gain by announcing his existence to the world? By the end of the movie, he has his plans foiled because of it, despite having enough military might to literally destroy the entire galaxy. So why exactly? Because he's a massively cocky motherfucker? Because he's just so Sheev? The opening scene depicts Kylo's rage along with some slightly goofy choreography. He finds a pyramid on this random planet, which we later find out is the only way to find Palpatine and one of two in existence. What's a potentially sacred Sith relic doing on a random planet in the middle of nowhere? Perhaps Palpatine planted it there, specifically for Kylo to find, which is odd because it doesn't look like anything special. It's in a box in the middle of the forest. Plus, who are these guys? Actors that Palpatine paid to die protecting it? Or did the Sith relic fall into the hands of a random tribe that have been worshipping it? We don't know because the movie gives the big double middle finger to world building. We're just plopped down on this planet. Presumably, this is the culmination of Kylo's rage across the galaxy, which, if Palpatine wanted to be found, is pretty unjustified. Either that or Kylo is just trash at finding things, and wants everyone to know how mad he is about that. Turns out the Wayfinder is integral in navigating to Palpatine, who is currently chilling out on Sith homeworld under a giant monolith. At least they introduce him in the opening scenes, as there is a lot of character development needed if they want him to be what I think they do. After all, this is post-original trilogy. We're not getting no Sheev. No. This is Emperor 2.0, with all that entails. As him having a character outside of pure evil was never the point. In his original incarnation, he was the immovable force that Luke needed to overcome in order to complete his arc, as well as being instrumental in facilitating Vader's redemption. But here they're touting him as the endgame villain to the 8 prior movies, but we know very little about him as a whole, and the characterization just comes across as flaccid. Also, we already had this dynamic the originals had with Kylo and Snoke, big, powerful, mysterious guy and his masked protege. But someone thought it would be a good idea to kill off Goldmember in the second film, so of course they have to drop something in there to fill the massive power vacuum. And I'm sorry, but this is a pet peeve of mine. Why does nobody park nearby where they're trying to get to? See, now you have to walk, you chump.
I have been every voice you have ever heard inside your head.
Along with this revelation is the information that he has created Snoke. What does Kylo do with this information? He's not startled, he's not frightened or confused. That his entire worldview was manufactured as a form of manipulation by one person. I assume he's too dense to understand the ramifications of this comment, but hey, so are the screenwriters. Likewise, it'd be nice if we got some backstory to his manipulation, or a flashback to his installation of Snoke as the head of the First Order, or something that establishes his goals or motivation, but no, it's the final installment in the trilogy, so why would an audience have questions? What are they, awake? The camera pans past a vat full of Snokes. Wait, what? If we are to assume that these are all mature versions of Snoke with the same attunement to the Force, then what exactly is happening here? Are these all failed experiments? Because if not, he could just loose them on the world and almost no one would be able to stop them. Otherwise, why would he keep around all these semi-perfect or failed versions of Snoke? Why wouldn't he just send another one in to replace the dead one and go, haha, that was merely a setback? Because that would make for a terrible film? Well, let's see what they do with what they have, then. We then get to actually see Palpatine, who is, miraculously alive. So what exactly is the explanation here? Let's quickly recap. Palpatine, at the conclusion of The Return of the Jedi, was zapped by his own lightning, thrown down a pit into the shaft of a reactor, and then he exploded. Then the space station he was on exploded. So how is he here? Good question. Well, the answer is...
The dark side is a pathway to many abilities some consider to be unnatural.
Okay. I guess I could consider radiation and explosion resistance pretty unnatural, but that doesn't explain how he got here. Now, there are a couple of theories, and I say theories because the movie doesn't explain it. They really only give one more dialogue line about it, and it's near the end of the film. The basic premise that we're supposed to assume is that he transferred his consciousness into this host body after dying on the Death Star 2.0, explaining why he says, "I've died before." The methods by which he does such vary from person to person, from his spirit wandering into this body to him using this machinery to upload himself, which just makes things worse the more you think about it. His body is the same as when we last saw him, he even has busted up fingers from all the Force lightning. You would think that if he could upload himself or possess people, then he'd possess a better body, or clone a Chad version of himself to float into. The problem with the script rears its head early, trying to recapture the essence of the original Emperor without any of the accompanying plot threads to accommodate it just leaves you with a character who exists for no reason the movie can feasibly convince you of outside of lull Darkseid, and with the exact same motivation, which annihilates any sense of nuanced conflict other than beat the bad guy because he's evil. Okay, thanks for watching my review. Oh wait, there's more movie? Fuck. Oh, and it gets worse. Palpatine instructs Kylo to kill the girl in a very serious tone, with Kylo's answer being a secondary Jimmy rustling, but the message does get through and Kylo is promised, and I quote, everything in return for killing Rey. The orchestral music swells as Palpatine lifts his hands, and we pan over the surface of the planet, innumerable Star Destroyers rising from the dust and igniting their engines. It's truly epic, is what the movie wants you to think. For starters, Kylo's underground, under a giant rock. He literally cannot see what's happening up there. All he sees is Palpatine lifting his hands as he says this. Secondly, the logistics just baffle me. Is the entire surface of this planet just a mile of sand and then a giant factory that pushes these Star Destroyers upwards? Because if so, show me? Because that sounds cool as fuck. Or did Palpatine get these from a separate factory planet and bury them himself? If so, why? Why did you do that, Palpatine? Thirdly, is he lifting all of these himself? Or are they just powering up their engines to move? Because the way he moves his hands makes him look like he's lifting them. Which, if that's the case, he's lifting a minimum of 10,000 Star Destroyers concurrently, making him more powerful than any other character we've ever seen. Fuck that weak shit Yoda. If Snoke could force people across the floor as a fucking hologram, Palpatine could probably will Rey out of existence just by thinking about it. So why doesn't he? Well, because the movie, and more importantly, the series, and more importantly, the director, doesn't realize what the fuck he's doing anymore. If he ever did. Making basic questions and logic inoperable. Other than this being a calculated multi-million-dollar troll designed to derail the Star Wars franchise, which, even this early on, I'm not ruling out. Palpatine's singular instruction to kill the girl is followed by the statement, become what Vader could not. It's kinda hard to parse what he means here. What exactly couldn't Vader do? Specifically kill the protagonist? What would he become by doing that? Even more evil-er? Or just become a better pawn to Palpatine? Because if Kylo had any wrinkles in his brain, he'd be able to see this line for what it actually is. Is he specifically saying that he would be awesome if he didn't kill him like his grandfather did? Because, sure. He also drops the hint that Rey isn't who he thinks she is. Whatever could this mean, I'm sure it won't affect the story in any way. Meanwhile, Poe and Finn are on a dangerous mission to collect intel from a spy within the First Order. This is detailed in the opening text crawl, at least I assume that's what they meant. Poe and Finn aren't exactly secret, but who said these crawls had to be consistent with the plot anyway? We are introduced to the best character in the entire film, Julio, who throws them a cord to plug into R2-D2, which takes a fucking age to transfer. Why are you doing this exactly? The in-universe explanation is lacking to say the least, but the screenwriting explanation is obvious. It's to purposely delay them to generate tension for when the TIE fighters come around the corner. Never mind that R2-D2 can gain large amounts of information about the status of things like Star Destroyers almost instantly just by plugging into them. This giant-ass cord takes 30 seconds to transfer this data. Data which turns out to generate only one thing specifically. Palpatine's return. Fantastic. I love it when the world's rules are consistent. Not to mention they could have just put this information on a droid and then thrown it down the hatch, and then left the same way they came in. But instead they go on a massive chase deeper into this place, rather than just turning around and leaving. Shortly after this, the movie confronts what, going into this, I knew would be one of its biggest struggles to explain. See, this movie has a systematic problem. Rian took the plot of The Force Awakens, along with every single thread of motivation and intrigue that the characters provided, and he didn't just bury those threads, he burned the entire carpet. Characters acted inconsistently to their previous incarnations, major plot points were subverted without any foresight of ramification, and giant, world-breakingly large plot holes were generated with two major developments. The first being the lightspeed kamikaze, which we will get to, trust me, but more prescient is the concept of lightspeed tracking. Now, this isn't your granddad's lightspeed tracking with some shitty magnetic disc. No, this is Wi-Fi lightspeed tracking. What kind of pleb would even use a physical tracker anyway? To address this game-breaking development, J.J. Abrams introduces lightspeed skipping, which warps Poe and Finn to numerous locations in order to escape the TIE fighters. Each of their jumps is punctuated with extremely hazardous locales that destroy the pursuant TIE fighters, but it ends with the Falcon almost destroyed. Using hyperspeed without any calibration was referenced in the very first movie. To quote Han,
"Traveling through hyperspace ain't like dust and crops, boy. Without precise calculations, we'd fly right through a star or bounce too close to a supernova and then it'd end your trip real quick, wouldn't it?"
overall, this technique has no reason to be performed other than if you were being tracked through hyperspace, and with this being a new technology, I can see how this would work as a last resort, but the problem is that it requires such insurmountably large amounts of plot armor for the characters to make it out alive. Along with this being the start of the movie, seeing two of Disney's characters dying probably wouldn't happen. Further dampening the stakes is the fact that in hindsight, the movie thinks they wouldn't know about Palpatine without this message, despite him announcing his presence and them already knowing about it. Yet later, when they find out Palpatine is back, they all sit down like, fuck. One of them even responds to them asking how he's back with the phrase, cloning and other dark secrets that only the Sith knew. Did you forget that Palpatine literally fought a clone war using soldiers he got from an external facility set up to make clones? You mean to tell me my homies on Kamino are Sith now? We cut to Rey, who's floating? What? How? Oh, and it looks like she's sustaining it with literally no effort. Why? Why is this movie so obsessed with making Rey look like the most powerful thing to ever exist? She's been a Jedi for like a week, max. Meanwhile, Yoda's over here with his 500 years of Force training and he needs this shitty hoverboard. Man, I bet Obi-Wan wish he could float when he fell off this platform in episode 3. And that's just the problems with the visual. The motivation behind her doing this is she wants to become one with all of the past Jedi? So it's literally the Avatar state. Well, that's... Meanwhile, Leia's just standing here looking at her, and it makes me sad to see Carrie Fisher like this. It's clear that the people behind the movie had very little to work with in terms of footage, but the fact that they have to manufacture a way for Leia to die a second time is one of the dirtiest things about this movie. Seriously, the role she has in this film is so minor, I don't even know why they bothered. She could have been cut out of this movie and nothing much would change. That's how little effect she has on the plot as a whole. Her interactions feel so... manufactured, for the lack of a better word? And would you look at that, she's holding Luke's lightsaber, and it's fixed. Well, that's great. How did they find the resources and expertise to reconstruct this lightsaber flawlessly using limited equipment? Is this ever explained? No. You know, dealing with a post-lightsaber Rey could have presented some good opportunities for character development. But nah, let's just revert things to how they were. No development needed here, folks. But even that still annoys me because she got this lightsaber from Maz, and Maz's explanation was that it was a good story for another time. So, is it time for that story? Well, Maz is here, so you're gonna tell us? Maz? So the literal explanation that this movie posits is, don't ask us, man, check the wiki or something. And speaking of Maz, I like how she's just here at the last Rebel outpost, despite the events of the last movie being so unimportant to her that she diverted Finn and Rose to some guy on some shit planet. Well, she's here now in the middle of Plantland, and what role does she play? Well, none of course. No one in this movie has a role to play except for Rey. Who the fuck even are all these people? At the end of the previous movie, there were around 20 people left in the Millennium Falcon, and now you expect me to believe that they all of a sudden have all of these people? Fuck off. The whole point of the last movie's conclusion was that the Resistance was at their lowest point, that they'd sent out a call for help and no one had answered. A message that was nothing less than that they'd destroyed the Supremacy, the First Order's supreme leader, and most of their fleet. If no one shows up after that, which is arguably the weakest the First Order has ever been, then you'd better believe that you're fucked. Did these people just show up about a week later with a fucking space barge and say, oh yeah, sorry, we couldn't be at Crate, we just really didn't want to be in that movie, sorry? Because doesn't that present a massive security risk with trying to maintain a secret base? Even Maz had to get here secretly somehow. Rey proceeds with her Jedi training, which is a basic training course. Since the prior movies have established that she has infinite stamina, I'm not too invested in this in particular. She also attempts a youngling level skill challenge. Great. How is she not beyond this? She can float for Popo's sake. However, she actually fails to block a couple of hits, which results in her spiraling out of control and throwing her lightsaber, like a boomerang.
A boomerang.
Whoa, how does that even work? Is she force pulling it, or what exactly is happening here? Then she caps it off with destroying one of the last remnants of the original Jedi Order. You know, there's a metaphor here, but I can't quite place it. The movie throws up a couple of shots from the first movie about Rey's parents and Han's death. Damn, this guy really hated the last movie, didn't he? He's trying as hard as he can to erase its existence and universe. Unfortunately, he has to deal with stupid shit like this, that he can't just sweep under the rug. What I do like is how JJ sets up Rey's parents are extremely important and her driving motivation in the opening third of the first movie, and then Ryan just has to subvert it by saying, oh nah man, nah, they're not that important. They're literally nobodies, lol. But then JJ's like, no, really, they're actually important, by the way. He actively subverts Ryan's subversion. It's hilarious. Speaking of which, Kylo is staring down at Vader's mask again. Whoa, that's a little bit of a whiplash with the Reversions movie. So he does still want to emulate Vader. All of that about him shedding his faux Vader persona by literally smashing it to pieces after he was told he was a pathetic imitation, and him coming into his own as an actual person in the last movie was, what, a red herring? So he does still idolize Vader and keep this around. I'm so confused. Meanwhile, Rey is scanning through the Jedi text, which she says herself she can't read. But that's okay, because these millennia-old sacred texts have pictures in them, just like the Bible does, meaning she knows exactly what this thing is. And what exactly is up with these texts anyway? When it comes down to it, they're the reason they can pick up on the trail to find Palpatine, but in the last movie, Yoda said that they didn't contain anything she didn't already have. Bitch, what? Was he literally only saying that to fuck with Luke, who thought that the text was still in there? Did he specifically mean the tree didn't contain anything she didn't already have? What an asshole! Poe and Finn land in the Falcon, and Rey goes off at them for damaging it, while Poe goes off at her for damaging BB-8. Meanwhile, Finn tries to be a character, but the movie stalwartly refuses to acknowledge him. Ah, that's alright. He's carried by all his character development. They all sit down, and Poe tells everyone that somehow Palpatine returned. Ah, yes, movie, feed my hatred. Then, oh shit, is that Rose? Holy shit, it's Rose. I didn't even think she'd be in this movie. Hey Rose, why weren't you on that mission with Finn at the start? Oh, never mind, she's gone. Palpatine's message to everyone is that in 16 hours, the final order will blow everything up.
In 16 hours, attacks on all free worlds begin.
What? And what? 16 hours. Why? It's such an arbitrary time frame for a Star Wars movie. This isn't fucking Mission Impossible. You're pretty much forcing yourself into a corner when you write shit like this. These arbitrary time restrictions almost always result in a truncated story where characters are just pushed in the direction the plot needs them to go via ex machina and contrivance rather than organic interaction. Which isn't always the case, but it sure as hell is in this movie. And the audience just sighs when they see this. It's so overdone and cliche that it comes across as a lazy way to increase tension. Also, this really does mean that the message that they decoded was really just like 4 lines of dialogue. Why did it take them so fucking long to transfer it then? Bruh, Julio, why did you throw them a fucking VGA cable? And secondly, what free worlds? You mean to tell me there are worlds that aren't free? What the heck did the second movie mean when it said that the First Order reigns? Ignoring any inconsistency that would take more than 2 days of power acquisition after destroying the galactic governmental system before you could consider yourself supreme, the movie takes it as canon, so what free worlds? The fuck does this mean? The planet Palpatine is on is called Exegol, which Rey says that Luke told her about. When? Luke was the most stubborn, hopeless, hermetic asshole possible. When would he ever reach out to you about the Sith homeworld randomly after shutting himself off from the Force? What the fuck is this? Also, she says that Luke searched for it and almost found it. When? Before he started a temple and tried to murder his own nephew? Why wasn't him trying to find Exegol the backstory that was given for him in the last movie? It could even tie into why he went briefly insane and tried murderizing Kylo. Hey, they even had an extra 30 minutes of unused screen time that they could have just dedicated to that. What? Then Rey says that she knows all of this and exactly what this is, despite not being able to read the book.
There are ciphers here I can't read.
Rey asks Leia if they can go to Sith homeworld, and Leia, knowing that this is their only hope, and that Palpatine will kill everyone if they don't stop him, and that it's the best way to avenge her brother, fucking says no. Because it's too dangerous? Leia, you realize that everyone will die if she doesn't go, right? And it's like they didn't have the right dialogue to use here, because she just relents as soon as Rey says, yeah, but you'd do it. She'd do it even if she told herself not to? What? Rey tries to go alone. Why she feels the impetus to do this when all of the dogfights we've seen throughout this trilogy required a pilot and a shooter is beyond me. I guess she can just clone herself, Dr. Manhattan style. But the others come along anyway because that's status quo. But not before this random character shows up to inform us that she will be studying the specs of old Star Destroyers. Okay, thanks for that. I'm sure I won't have any problem with it later. Speaking of which, we didn't see you on that first mission at all. What were you doing exactly? They brought fucking Claude along with them, but not Rose? Actually, wait. They establish a pretty important character trait with Rey that adheres to the whole truncated plotline Ex Machina time limit thing. See, Rey, when she doesn't know what her character motivation should be, or needs to go to a place for a thing to happen, will zen out and channel the fucking script for what needs to happen to occur, regardless of how stupid it is. She will stare off into the distance like a fucking microwave potato if it gets the job done. And if someone asks her what the fuck is wrong with her, she'll just say, nothing, or I just have to do this. Hashtag too deep for you. The gang suit up and get on the Millennium Falcon. That's right, all the principal characters. Finn, Poe, Rey, Chewie, BB-8, even C-3PO. Am I missing anyone? No. Meanwhile, back at the Kylo, we see him pick up the fragments of his old mask, which he takes to the Smith Lord to have them fixed. Am I watching a fucking cartoon here? Let me remind you that the last time we saw this mask was when it was smashed to pieces in an elevator. Did he come back later that day and pick up the fragments with a dustpan? Or were they just in there for a couple of weeks and people avoided that side of the elevator? Or did he sneak in when it was under maintenance? Surely Snoke would know this happened and laughed at him for being a little bitch, but sure, get your mask fixed. And wow, it looks like a DeviantArt version now. Ah, great. At the very least, he gets to do a him and the boys shot with his knights. You know, the Knights of Ren, the ones that we have no background for other than being a bunch of guys that Kylo deemed worthy out of the trainees he killed from Luke's temple. Well, at least they're here now, and the movie's gonna fix that lack of information, right? But no, the movie takes an immediate nosedive because Julio is dead, the best character in the film, and he's fucking dead already. They better at least make a spin-off of this guy. It'd be the one good thing to come out of this movie. Anyway, these villains are stacked around a table, and in a scene reminiscent of the original movie, Kylo chokes someone out. The dialogue is similar, and it's even shot in a very similar way. Nice callback, is what I'd say if it was fucking decent. See, in the original, Vader was confronted by this guy who insulted Vader's religion and worldview, stating that it was a bunch of sorcery and witchcraft. Vader menacingly and slowly choked him out, showing how insidious and powerful he was, while simultaneously instilling fear and topping it off with a pun. Classic. And rightly deserved after this guy's shit-talking. Cause and effect. However, in this fucking movie, the concept of subtlety is thrown out the window into space where the lack of an atmosphere renders it unidentifiable before being annihilated by a black hole and becoming a fourth-dimensional concept that transcends this movie's script. Kylo tells the people about Palpatine giving them his fleet, and somebody says,
"Oh, they sound like a cult. Conjurers and soothsayers."
So then Kylo chokes him out, right? Well, no, he doesn't. What? That's not how a callback works. No, instead he chokes the guy out when he asks the perfectly legitimate question of, what does he want in return? And he doesn't just choke him out slowly or anything, no, he fucking slams him against the roof and kills him. What the fuck, movie? And to top it all off, in the same tone of voice an 8-year-old would use when describing how awesome he is, this fucking non-character, who we've never even seen before yet outranks Hux, states that with Palpatine's help, the First Order fleet will grow in resources by 10,000-fold.
The Sith fleet will increase our resources 10,000-fold.
What the fuck are you even saying? General Pride. You are telling me that there is a minimum of 10,000 ships here? And that'd just be if this ship was the only one they have, which it fucking isn't. Holy shit. How many people exactly does it take to run one of these ships? This lady says we'll need to increase recruitment, as if it's no fucking big deal, but holy shit. You would need to recruit billions of people to furnish all of these ships. Not even including the requisite training you'd have to do. That is years of work that the movie expects us to be completed within 16 hours? Stop saying things like this. When will you learn that your actions have consequences? And the best part is, after this guy asks what he wants in return, and gets killed, Kylo answers his question. He says, I'm going to go hunt for the scavenger, which is Palpatine's main goal. Well, that's just great. Fucking kill him for no reason. What a dick. Sure hope this guy doesn't get a redemption arc. They land on this desert planet, and C-3PO informs them that the festival happening only comes around once every 42 years. How convenient that it happens to be occurring right now. What spontaneous like... Oh, who cares? Hey, wait. No, movie. Bring me that plot point. You called this place, and I quote, the Forbidden Desert of Pisana. Well, it doesn't look very forbidden to me. Once again, despite the protagonist being aware that the First Order knows they have information about Palpatine and will be searching for his location, and them knowing for a fact just by asking Palpatine that their next clue is on this planet, they just walk around in the open. No fucking disguises, no hoods, nope, nothing. Gold guy and 7-foot fluffy man, and no one sees a problem with this. At least Poe does say to watch out for stormtroopers, but no one seems to really give a fuck. This elephant thing gives Rey a plot-facilitating necklace, and C-3PO translates her speech, but only in one direction because English is the universal language. And of course she understands it, but can't speak it. Nice. There's a rather painful and unsubtle moment where she gets asked what her last name is by this thing, and she's like, I don't have one. We get it. You're telling us that Rey's parentage is important again. Cool. Don't have to shove it down our throats. Also, Rey's parents got taken away when she was what, like 6? 5.5? She really didn't ask or get told what her last name was before then? No? Okay. All of a sudden, Kylo initiates Force Skype with Rey. Wait, this is still a thing after Snoke's death? But he was the one causing the visions in the first place. What the fuck? How does this even work? Are you going to explain why this is still happening, movie, or literally anything about these? Can she initiate them at this point? If the torch has been passed to Palpatine, then why wouldn't he prevent them from contacting each other? And why is it dark all of a sudden? Kylo asks her what she thinks of her character in TLJ, and Rey responds with, what character? And then Kylo tries to get some, and makes it out with that necklace, which they analyze to find her. Only this time they call the place that she's in the Forbidden Valley. So now it's the Forbidden Valley in the Forbidden Desert? Jesus, do I need to relearn the definition of forbidden, or what is going on here? Distractions aside, movie, what are the rules here? Slow the fuck down with introducing this shit. What exactly is happening here? Is he physically able to interact with objects attached to the person, or just in general? If that's the case, and his hand can go through, why the fuck didn't he push his lightsaber through? Hell, he could even do it while they're on their ship. Stab the control panel and leave them floating in space? Why is this psychic connection somehow stronger than it was in the other movie, despite them spending more time apart and not being in Force-sensitive areas, and the catalyst for its existence being dead? The closest thing to a physical transfer in the last movie was Kylo getting wet a little. Seriously, what are the boundaries to this thing? But that's not important right now. What's immediately crucial is for Rey and co to get the fuck out of here and off this planet, because all they've done so far is fuck around at a festival. Let me remind you, 16 hours is on the clock and ticking, so get to work. But no, Kylo knows with 100% certainty where you are and can lightspeed here in his biggest ship in mere minutes, and will torture and kill all of your friends and forcibly convert you to his side, kill you, or present you to Palpatine, who will probably do something horrible too. So why are you still on this planet exactly? Because Kylo said he had other plans? So, other than killing her. Well, get back to me in 5 minutes and let me know what those plans are, because they look a hell of a lot like killing her. And you can't really turn her to the dark side if she's dead, dude. Rey runs back to the others and starts to tell them what happened. At the very least, she says they need to leave, but they're interrupted by this stormtrooper. This one random, lonely stormtrooper that appears out of nowhere and tries to shoot them. Dude? Where's your platoon? What are you doing here exactly? Why did you come out ready to shoot? These people could be literally anyone. Is it because they're speaking English? Yeah, whatever. But then he gets shot by this random person who says, come with me. So let's pretend that you're Rey in this situation. What do? Do you A, get your shit, get your friends, and get the fuck off this planet in your only ship before Kylo arrives? Because now they not only know the planet you're on, but your exact location, and no stranger in a hat can defend you against the full might of the First Order. Plus, if they find your ship, they will not only destroy it and kill you, but search it first for the coordinates of your base and kill that too. Or B, follow the guy in the hat. So they follow the guy in the hat. Okay. What was the point in keeping the necklace thing and the stormtrooper thing if they both lead to the same goal and are both annoyingly difficult to justify? Because the name of the game with this movie is inconsistency. It's called The Rise of Skywalker despite the only two left with that lineage dying. The guy in the hat turns out to be Lando, who, when asked how he found them, states, "Wookiees stand out in a crowd." No shit. That's why you wear a fucking disguise. Holy Jesus, are you stupid? They just risked it with the notion that no First Order troops would be here, or even agents in disguise? How dense are they? There's this cute little part where Lando says that Leia sent him a transmission, then seems taken aback when they say that they're here to find Exegol. What kind of shit transmission did they even send? That they'd be coming over for scones? Lando proceeds to exposit about how him and Luke of all people were searching for Exegol together. They followed an alien Jedi hunter to this planet, but when they searched his ship, it was abandoned and the trail went cold. To which Rey says,
"We need to get to that ship. Search it again."
Bitch. If Luke and Lando both searched it in a methodical manner while not under the threat of death, something you seem to have forgotten about, what makes you think that you'll find something that they didn't? Because you're the protagonist? Because you're a Mary? Anyone gonna bring up why the Jedi Hunter needed this Wayfinder exactly? Why would he specifically need to go to Exegol? Palpatine's established he can send out transmissions from his planet. Plus, he could have just told Snoke to tell the Jedi Hunter what to do. Why risk one of two ancient Sith relics when they can fall into the wrong hands? And don't even fucking tell me that Palpatine force-impregnated Luke's mind with the thought to chase this guy, to find this place so that 20 years later Rey could come here and find the Wayfinder. Because that's really stupid. At that point you're practically writing the story for the movie. But don't worry about thinking, because a swarm of TIE fighters appears. And Rey, no shit, looks surprised that they're here. Do you have the memory of a goldfish? Then, Lando, when he sees the collective might of a galactic terrorist organization, says,
"I got a bad feeling about this."
No, Lando. No. Bad. That's not how feelings work. You don't feel anything about this situation. You know that you're fucked. Look at this shit. There's no feeling necessary. Then he says that the guy's ship is out past Lurch Canyon, and Finn nods in sage-like agreement, despite not knowing where the fuck that is. And they leave. Lando basically tells them to fuck off. Doesn't give them anything other than that one clue. No resources, no speeders, nothing. He just tells them to go. Wow, what a jerk. You could have at least told them about the snake-filled quicksand, you dude. Also, why didn't they tell the protagonist that Lando was on this planet? Leia clearly knew that he was and didn't say anything. What have you even been doing this whole time? Where the fuck were you when Crate happened? These guys literally call you a general. How can you call yourself that when you ignore the call at Crate? Oh, your flying days are over? I'm sure that won't come up again. So, yeah, Kylo sends in a bunch of TIE fighters and other ships instead of blowing the place up from orbit and claiming his fleet from Palpatine. It's pretty clear that he doesn't really care if she's alive or not. Watch this scene and try and convince me that what these guys were doing wasn't lethal in any way. So the TIE fighters chase them, really fucking slowly. Slowly enough for Poe to hotwire two speeders. Finn looks slightly annoyed at him for saving his life and asks,
How do you know how to do that?
Maybe because he's a fucking pilot? Maybe because he has experience with fixing engines for the Resistance and knows how they work? Maybe. But if what we've seen so far is anything to go by, it's clearly to set up a plot point later, because that is the only reason people ask questions in this movie. So, they speed off and they're chased by these two Caterpillar Trek ATVs. Okay? Were these dropped off by the TIE fighters? Do those TIE fighters actually exist, or are they just a desert mirage? Or did they transform into these? This is their top priority target, and they're sending 4 people after them. So they're not only incompetent in their approach, but if Kylo wanted Rey to survive, he's doing a horrible job. Because one of these shots will probably kill her. Or maybe he's read the script and knows that she won't die because of how overpowered she is. Hey, maybe he told them to miss their shots. Hey, that one actually has some credit to it, because look at this shit. This guy has weapons that shoot linearly, and the target is in a line, and he misses.
They fly now? They fly now!
They flew before movie. They flew before. I also like how these military-grade ATVs are slower than civilian speeders, and seem to have less torque than them too. They eventually do get shot, the only 2 shots that land throughout the entire chase, and they one-shot the speeders. They are so precise and so purposefully non-lethal that they only blow up the speeders and not the people, which just deconstruct themselves like fucking Lego right in front of the alien ship that they were looking for. Great. Plus, literally everyone lands in the same place and is completely fine despite being shot off 2 different speeders at different times. They land on quicksand and take pot shots at this guy until he dies, before they all get sucked down. Meanwhile, back at the Resistance base, this absolute Bamf comes in and tells them that they haven't heard back from the Falcon yet after a raid on the festival. Leia and Rose gang up on him and tell him to be positive, and how dare he say it like that, and the guy's like, bruh. Seriously, they're a military resistance group, and he's reporting to their commander. You need actual efficiency and reasonable standards during wartime like this, especially with critical information, and you do this? Also, you were the one advocating against this mission, and now you're saying it's all they have? What about those secret agents you sent out, Leia? Leia? But then he just goes all sarcastic. What a king. So it turns out all of the main characters didn't die, and this was all tunnel, all funnel. And the ceiling surprisingly doesn't collapse, despite being made out of quicksand. Well, that makes perfect sense. I mean, this is space sand we're talking about here. Rey pulls out her lightsaber for, light, and Poe pulls out a comedically small torch. It even has an accompanying annoying sound effect. Hey, it's almost like the amount of light is proportionate to how important the character is. Everyone else phases out of existence for a couple minutes to facilitate this conversation between the two of them, which pertains to what Finn was about to say as he went down. However, Poe interrupts them, and Finn gets mad at him for all that shifty stuff that he has been getting up to. You know, that thing that they added in that's supposed to characterize him as having a checkered past, yet hopelessly fails due to the fact that Poe was a paragon of ultimate badassery in the last film, who led a mutiny against this crazy woman and her mentally deficient plan. So they just so happened to find the dead body of the guy that they were looking for, which just so happened to be in the same tunnel that they fell into, and he just so happened to have this dagger on him that has the next part of their journey on it. Wow. What a great movie. C-3PO actually does his job for once by attempting to translate this dagger, which just so happens to have the coordinates of the Sith Wayfinder on it. Okay? Why exactly is this on here? Did the guy who commissioned the dagger put the coordinates of the Wayfinder on it so he could get it back if he lost it? Wouldn't he or his computer just know where it is? I'm so confused. But the best part is, despite C-3PO giving a basic translation of the dagger's inscription, he can't tell them what the translation is.
The location of the Wayfinder has been inscribed upon this dagger. I am afraid I cannot tell you.
What? You literally just told them what it was. You gave them a basic translation of what the dagger said on it. If you were restricted by programming, you'd be incapable of saying anything at all. Plus, I can think of a few ways around this. Sit him down and plug him into a computer like they do to R2-D2 at the start and to another droid later on in the same movie. Do the equivalent of a Google Translate into another language, and then tell us what that says. Seriously, what the fuck is going on?
I am mechanically incapable of speaking translations from Sith.
You're mechanically incapable? The fuck does that mean? You mean you can't speak it due to not having a Sith-branded voice box? Are you mad? You're translating it into English anyway, why would that need changing? But the movie doesn't let you think about that anyway because a giant fuck-off snake appears, and despite it being one annoyance away from eating what he considered his best fighter's face off, Poe says he's going to shoot it. Poe, what is wrong with you? Then Rey just walks towards it. She even tells Poe to put his gun down because she knows exactly how to deal with this situation. What is this bullshit? I guess the script is flowing through her again. Sure, I mean, Jedi have always been historically really good with beasts. Remember when Anakin rode that giant cow thing perfectly? Remember when Luke had a hot chocolate with the Wampa instead of waiting out the storm in a Tauntaun? Remember when Luke almost got eaten by Ewoks? Wait, but that's fine because Disney owns the franchise now, and what happens next I can only describe as analogous to that part in the kids movie where the little boy pulls the thorn out of the lion's foot, and instead of it, I don't know, mauling him to death, it just cuddles him and shit. That is exactly what happens here, but instead of the snake having a thorn in it, it has a giant gash, which Rey heals? With Force energy? Movie, what is this nonsense? Why are you giving Rey a bunch of powers without context that make the previous film's Jedi look like filthy peasants? And that isn't even what annoys me the most. No, what pisses me off the most is her explanation.
I just transferred a bit of life, force energy from me to him. You would have done the same.
What the fuck? If it were that simple, you'd think everyone would know how to do this, right? If it were that simple, Luke could have just healed Vader on his deathbed. Or Obi-Wan could have healed Qui-Gon on the side of that pit. Anakin could have healed Padme back to full HP so she didn't die during childbirth. I mean, she could have just got a C-section, but yeah, whatever. And these are both sides of the Force too, so you can't say it's mutually exclusive. Why didn't Mace Windu just heal his arm back on? And more. It is actually ridiculous when you think of it with the other films in mind. Seriously, where did she even learn this? Well, there are a couple of different places that I can think of. The first is from the sacred Jedi texts. You know, the ones that she can barely read. Oh, except for the fact that Yoda and Luke have both read them and couldn't heal or were unwilling to. The other idea is that Leia taught her, but that's even worse, because that means she was content with knowing this technique existed, but only ever taught it to Rey. What a jerk. This also means that I'm going to get annoyed if anyone ever gets a boo-boo and Rey doesn't fix it. Which, I mean, it's the sequel trilogy. No one really suffers the physical damages of war anyway. It comes down to how you integrate these powers. I'm fine with it really if it's done well, like the Force Lightning was. Which I feel I need to give an explanation for. They're both abilities that randomly appeared in the last film with no explanation, right? Well, let's take you back. The Emperor was a big deal. He had years of build-up over 3 movies, and this power was something that you could extrapolate as being applied to the dark side of the Force. It didn't require much mental gymnastics to accept as a part of the narrative. However, here, the new ability crushes against the narrative, especially with 8 other movies worth of content to contend with. It just seems odd that this power has never been used or spoke of prior. Outside of the EU, that is. In other words, here, it's not done well. It comes out of nowhere to facilitate a stupid cliche and forward the plot, because the dumb snake was blocking the path. With its ass. And Rey's explanation of it is so fucking condescending that it makes every Jedi that has come before her look like a chump. None of them even ask her to explain it either. They just walk out of the hole. It takes the fucking droid to prompt her into explaining this bullshit for anyone to care. So the exit leads them right next to the ship that they've been looking for, and they board it. See, the ship is a problem. We know from events that happen later that it's been here for quite a while, at least since Luke has disappeared. And it's a 5-minute speeder ride from the nearest settlement. Yet it's perfectly intact. It has no parts scavenged from it, and it's completely space ready. Movie, what the fuck? You're telling me that no one in all of this time has dropped by and pressed one button to start the ship up? What the fuck? That no Jawas or equivalent Was have scavenged it? I'd understand if this planet had no sentient life on it, but it does. Rey's character origins have her subsisting off scavenging, for fuck's sake. They even call her a scavenger in this movie. Yet you expect me to believe that the ship is not only not scrounged for parts, but fully operational? What? If that's the case, then why didn't Luke and Lando fly it back to the base to analyze it there? Oh, I'm sure it's nothing. I'm sure they've got everything they need off this fucking ship. But regardless, why just leave it sitting here when you can have a free ship? If Lando had that ship, he could have just given it to Rey in the first place, but nah, just leave it here. You know, it's not hard to fix plot points like this, right? Have the alien's body have the key on it, or hell, even have that stupid dagger as the key. Also, wouldn't there be a billion First Order ships floating around here at this point? They didn't make it far. Surely the enemy would have seen the wreckage while the protagonists were down in the tunnel, but no. No one really seems to be doing a good job of finding them. Even the Knights of Ren are just standing on a rock while the camera pans ominously. They have every single direction visible, but still can't see them. And they're on a damn rock outcrop in the middle of flat land. So they start the ship and Rey says, "I'll be right behind you." What the fuck are you doing, Rey? This had better be very important or you're risking the lives of everyone here. But, of course they wouldn't know that, because she didn't tell them fuck all. So they send Chewie out instead to go and grab her, and he instantly gets dropped, immediately sapped by the Knights of Ren. Meanwhile, Rey's walking out into the desert, presumably straight fucking past them, and didn't get so much as a scratch. Doesn't get tased, doesn't get gassed, nothing. Yep, she teleported for sure. So then Finn goes out, and sees stormtroopers taking away Chewie and putting him in a ship. You fucks were on a vantage point and you didn't see all of these guys waiting here? And was the enemy's plan just to wait for someone to walk out and capture them? Why? What if they just flew away? What then, First Order? They show the audience specifically that they have the ultra-important dagger. Why did Chewie have the ultra-important dagger on him? What purpose could he possibly have holding onto it other than to further the stupid plot development? The first thing he should have done when getting on the ship was to put it down or in a safe or something. This is literally the only clue you have, and has the coordinates to your end location. That would be the last thing that you'd want your enemies to have. Why the fuck did he walk out with it in his bag? He has a giant crossbow, why would he need a dagger as a weapon? Finn sees all this and just stands there. Doesn't yell for Rey, doesn't go back inside, doesn't do much of anything really. Damn, Finn, you're such a character. Also, the Knights of Ren are just leaving? Why not wait around and then sap Poe when he comes out? You're just gonna leave after you get their least important member? But that's okay, because Kylo comes careening out from behind the rock and flies straight at her at full speed in a spaceship. Well, I guess we can rule out the chances of him wanting her alive. He flies straight at her, and this happens. My god, that is the most blatant trailer fuel I have ever seen. You know, usually with stupid stuff like this in the trailer, you can hand-wave its idiocy by saying, oh, an explanation will be in the full film. Well, this is the full film, and there is no goddamn explanation for this. And it looks even worse in retrospect, because what exactly was his plan here? Really, what exactly did he hope to achieve? Because look at this. If you're not dead or at least horribly injured by this, then the movie has lost all concept of stakes. How and by whom would she ever have training to perform this? What? At this stage we have to talk about character intentions. What was either of their plans? I appreciate that they're bringing back the awesome jumping ability of the Jedi, but holy shit, this is a stretch. But we get it. Rey wants Kylo dead. Or at least I think she does. Let's see what he's done to her. He mindfucked her, blew up some people that she liked, removed her friend's spinal cord, killed the only person she considered a father figure, blew up a bunch more of her friends, tried to kill what was left of her friends with a giant Ba Sing Se laser, then made the person who she once idolized kill himself trying to protect her, making him pretty much beyond redemption. Yeah, I guess that's a good reason. Oh, but counteracting that is, she saw good in Kylo that one time. So let's just say she doesn't want him dead. You're telling me that Rey has such granular control of the very atoms that make up her lightsaber that she can cut the wing in such a way that the pod will tumble off and he won't die? 'Cause I'll believe it. And we can assume that Kylo wants Rey dead, or at least I think he does. I mean, Palpatine won't give him anything if he doesn't kill her. So the move is completely justified with regards to the end goal, it's just the execution is really, really stupid. So what exactly went wrong here? Well, first of all, why would you drive parallel to the ground against an enemy with a laser sword if you have a ship that fires bolts of exploding plasma? Go up. Wait, maybe you can't because he's been to Exegol. Huh. Well, if you wanted her dead, you could have done it from orbit. Movie over. If, contrary to all of his prior actions, he wanted her alive, but just be a little spooked, he could have had a sword fight with her. But there are enough of those in this movie anyway. So, does he still like her? Bim, this is probably the stupidest way to get a girl to like you, and the easiest way to get yourself killed at the same time as her. Maybe he wanted them both to die. No, wait, he likes living. Was this seriously just a battle to see whose plot armor was thicker, and they ended in a draw? Maybe Yoda's Force Ghost possessed him and compelled him to attempt vehicular manslaughter? I don't know. Please, someone tell me what's going on here. Finn runs in, yelling about how they've got Chewie, and Rey force pulls the transport down. What? Her strength is ridiculous. But wait, there's more. Kylo not only isn't dead, isn't wounded beyond all recognition, isn't completely paralyzed, isn't heavily damaged, isn't unconscious, isn't even wounded in the slightest, but he's completely fine. What the fuck is happening here? How are his clothes not even damaged? You exploded, Kylo. What are you doing? Kylo joins in on the fun and starts force pulling the ship too, which for some reason doesn't make it come down twice as fast. So is Rey pulling it down into the right and he's pulling it down into the left? 'Cause what? If they had unequal pulling strength, the whole ship would just rip in half or tumble down. And the best part is, during this very tense minute-long force battle between the two, during which their entire focus is on the ship, Finn stands there, watching, doing nothing, for the entire thing. He doesn't pull out a gun, doesn't shoot, tackle, or even yell at the guy who made his life a living hell and whose faction abducted him as a child to be used as a living weapon and removed his spinal cord. He just watches. If you kill this man, you will be the savior of the galaxy. You'll finally be able to do what you want in life because the war will be over and you'll be hailed as a hero. Shoot him in the ass, or better, the face. The tension in the scene comes to a head, and Rey gives into the dark side for more power, and oops. And for one glorious split second, we see Rey show some emotion. Whoa, did you catch that? That was awesome. I love this little move that Finn does. He's like, oh god damn it, we lost Chewie. It's actually a pretty dramatic and emotional moment. But like the rest of the movie, you're not allowed to stop and think about it. So there were 2 transports. A fact that the movie gives you 24 frames, 1 second, to process, making it seem more like an afterthought for assholes like me. Due to the fact that Finn didn't talk to Rey until the transports were up and running, we can assume he knows which one Chewie's on. Also, Rey can sense Chewie's energy later on in the film, so she'd know whether he was dead here or not. Right? Well, remind me later. Also, doesn't it seem odd that someone with almost no Force training could utilize Force lightning like this, when someone who is as attuned to the dark side as Kylo either can't or is unwilling to? It just seems weird to me that she can use this power even unintentionally. And yeah, I know the reason some of you might be saying for it being quote acceptable unquote, but it really isn't. Characters such as Palpatine and by extension Snoke gained their power through years and years and years of attenuation to the dark side, absorbing the teachings of the Sith before them who also had immense power, like, I don't know, that one guy who was practically Sith Jesus. Yet you expect me to believe that this power would trickle down to Rey when she has no experience with the dark side? Well, where was the Force lightning when Luke went apeshit against his father? Or Anakin when he was slaughtering Tusken Raiders? Seriously, lightning is powerful as fuck. But you know what? Giving these characters these abilities would dampen their character development as a whole, much like the 2 Ex Machinas Rey has received in fucking 5 minutes? The movie continues its onslaught, not allowing you to think, by conjuring up a swarm of TIE fighters for the main characters to deal with. Why are they here now? Why did they wait 10 minutes to show up? Did Kylo actually say, hey dudes, look at this, and then fly his ship at Rey? It's not even like he gave them a cue or anything. The guy's been standing here in shock the whole time. Was this what he meant when he said he had different plans for Rey? Mate, if you're trying to convert someone to your religion, converting them into a ghost is not the best way to do it. Or, I guess maybe it is? Regardless, these aircraft have so much inconsistency. They will pop in and out of existence when the scene needs more tension. File transfer taking 1 billion years? TIE fighters. Spend time doing nothing of note on a planet and then force some character development? TIE fighters. Accidentally blow up your best friend? TIE fighters. Wait, shouldn't this be the same group of TIE fighters that we saw before the speeder bike chase? If not, then why did they suddenly release the TIE fighters? And if so, why the heck didn't the TIE fighters chase them? They're faster and deadlier than these speeders. It's just because they wanted a cool chase regardless of the plot, isn't it? So, where did these guys go in the meantime? Did they stop off for coffee? I have no clue what's happening anymore. We cut to their ship chilling out in an asteroid field. I'm sorry, what? The craft that was pursuing them can track through light speed. So either they just didn't, for no specified reason, or all of the TIE fighters following them exploded. Did they light speed skip into this convenient asteroid field? Cause what the fuck? Plus, the ship has been here for years. The fact that it can even light speed skip, let alone fly, is fucking laughable. They actually just put Kylo on pause while they escaped? What the fuck? Hey Kylo. You know how you almost just pulled a ship out of the sky a couple of seconds ago? Well, do it again. What are you doing standing here, you moron? You didn't even try. Throw your lightsaber at it or something. Why even introduce the fact that you can only escape lightspeed tracking craft with this skipping maneuver and then purposefully ignore it? Did JJ just say, fuck it, I've answered that question, now leave me alone? Seriously? But hey, maybe I'm getting a little bit too ahead of myself. After all, the Knights of Ren ship track them, with apparently no one noticing, despite Finn and Poe knowing lightspeed tracking exists. You'd think they'd be on some sort of lookout for possible pursuance. On the ship, Rey and Finn are talking about how killing Chewie wasn't her fault. Yeah, you're right. It was Finn's fault for not distracting Ren in any way, shape, or form. We cut to Hux, who was talking to this character who was strangely absent from the last 2 films. It's not like they'd need an Allegiant general in those last battles, right? Hux states that they sustained heavy losses when Rey blew up the ship. Then Pride says that he knows all of this because he's read the report, which, I mean, makes sense, the report would say this. But then Hux says, no, there was actually another transport with a valuable prisoner. Bitch. If the prisoner is so valuable, then why the fuck would that not be in the report? Why would there be 2 versions of a report for a military operation that have different sets of information? And why would Hux be privy to this information when Pride isn't if he outranks him? Pride should immediately call the person who wrote it and have him executed for withholding information. Because it's not like Hux personally saw this, he wasn't even there. The only reason that it is phrased like this is because they wanted it to be dramatic, but it completely destroys my immersion when it makes no sense for the actual characters to be saying this. We see Chewie being held prisoner, and despite him being in one of the worst situations he's ever been, held prisoner by the enemy while the universe is at stake, will most likely be tortured for information, was holding a clue giving away the coordinates to the last location of his friends, and will probably be killed as soon as he's on screen. The movie plays the hopeful whimsy music.
The beast used to...
Wow, can you have some semblance of a dramatic tone, please? Back on the ship, everyone's angry about the loss of the dagger, and C-3PO is just like, wow, yeah, funny that, I actually have the inscription in my memory banks, which he says is only accessible via Ex Machina, which Poe just so happens to know, due to the shifty past that they unsubtly shoved in earlier. I mean, at least they're trying to characterize someone. A third of the way into the third movie, their next destination is a place called Kijimi, with the aforementioned ship following them. Have you ever heard of radar, or just looking out the window? Did no one keep a lookout for possible pursuant fighters after leaving the planet? After being chased by fighters? Meanwhile, the Millennium Falcon has been captured, alongside Chewie. Cool, now they have to get both of those things back. Isn't it lucky that they keep them both on the same ship? It's so convenient. Also, it seems like BB-8 does a lot of the work in this movie, pointing people towards things or asking for exposition. In this scene, he finds a droid on the ground. Okay. Good job, Luke and Lando. You did a fantastic job of searching this guy's ship. This guy's droid is right here, and you didn't see it pertinent to analyze it for its contents? Well, that's just spectacular. They must have really wanted to find Exegol. But hey, maybe I'm being a little bit too unfair. I mean, there's no historical precedent of a droid holding valuable information, right? We've never seen a droid hold on to any secret plans at any point throughout the series. Rey reaches out towards the droid to... I have no idea, is she trying to pet it? Then she says it's been treated badly? Okay. It's a droid though, why is it sentient? Wait, this isn't important, is it? They fly into the city, and they land right in the middle of it. Despite the First Order knowing that they're coming to this planet, and knowing what their ship looks like, they still manage to land their ship without anyone noticing or even giving a fuck. Meanwhile, stormtroopers are roaming the streets looking for people, and I'd assume holding checkpoints at every entrance, and these fucks just teleport in here. And wow, look, they're even wearing hoods this time to disguise themselves. Not at all like in the desert. The scene starts with Poe wandering around the streets and realizing that stormtroopers are everywhere. Then he goes back to his party and says, they're everywhere. You fucking think? How did you even get in here without realizing this? Out of nowhere, they're blindsided by this lady who's just standing out in the open with no one seeing her. Once again, we see Poe with a gun to his head and he's talking like he's not about to die any second. It's like he's conscious he's a main character. Apparently, he fucked all these people over at one point doing his old job of running spice, which Finn takes as this big monumental thing. I mean, you know who else had that backstory? Luke's fake father. Rey overpowers her entire gang and she just gives up and helps them. Apparently this lady heard that Poe was coming to the planet through the grapevine and found them in the middle of the city. Not at all like these stormtroopers though, these fucks are blind in those helmets. The lady leads them towards the discount Mos Eisley Cantina, and look at this shot. She says walkers, then follow me, and then runs into them. And then they disappear in the next shot, and they run into the space where they were. Why did you shoot it like this? It's so damn confusing. In each shot of the city you can see stairs. Look, stairs everywhere. And I, as an arsehole, thought, that's funny as fuck. The two of these guys with no legs are gonna have a lot of trouble getting up these stairs. But no, they just put planks on this one set of stairs so that they could get up the least steep incline that we've seen so far. I just find it funny, that's all. Once again, the movie teases the Knights of Ren who appear in this alleyway. Do they do anything of note in this scene? No, they don't. Are you going to develop these guys or just keep showing them? Meanwhile, our heroes are in this seedy cantina that historically would have been the first thing an enemy would check in a raid, but nah, it's just business as usual. They even have this booming music going on, so it's not like the stormtroopers just can't find them. Or are they exempt from raids because they're a business? Are we just supposed to ignore this? This little guy says that when he accesses C-3PO's forbidden memory bank, then he'll lose all of his memories. Wow, they're going to assassinate one of the most beloved and recognized characters from the original movies? Oh wait, no, this is this movie, where death is baited for no reason. Plus, I don't even really understand this emotional through line. He's a droid. They'll have a backup of him somewhere.
Doesn't R2 back up your memory?
R2 storage units are famously unreliable.
Yeah, so that's where it'll be. Ugh. Plus, even if he gets his memory wiped, he's not dead. So again, what's with the emotional build-up? It just feels cheap. They hear a loud noise, and Zori says that the night raids will start soon. So what are these then? The late afternoon raids? How has no one found these guys yet? They cut to Kylo, who just went back to his ship after all of this. And he has to be told by Hux, Pride, and this other guy that his splinter group, the one that has his fucking name in it and is considered its own sect within the military, run by him, that they've found Rey. All of these stormtroopers and his knights knew of her location before he did. How the heck does this military work? Hux rightfully asks him if they should just blow up the city, to which Ren responds, Meanwhile, back in Clown City, these two are on the roof, where some kind of specialized AT-AT is blowing the shit out of people for no goddamn reason. They're just sitting here, casually. They're not even worried about their ship, despite all of the raids. And let's just say, contrary to my agenda and the shot, that they didn't park in the middle of the city. They still, A, had one of the Knight's ships tailing them, which would have seen them land, and B, would still have to get into the city. And like I said earlier, the First Order would know what their ship looked like. They could just post a stormtrooper battalion around it, or abduct it with wires and then scout the city. These people are fucking buffoons. Regardless, this lady exposits about having enough money to consider leaving the planet and heading to the colonies, as well as showing us a First Order medallion, something that's apparently so rare that Poe has never seen it, something that can give her free passage past the block hyperlanes off this planet, as well as giving her landing preference, so why hasn't she used it yet? It's not like she knew Poe was coming until 5 minutes ago, and now all of a sudden she wants him to leave with her? What the fuck? And besides, how did she even get this? Well, don't ask questions. But wouldn't the First Order know it was missing when that same captain reported that he'd lost it, or died in battle, and they'd deactivate whoever's ID it correlated to, and its benefits, so shit like this didn't happen? Well, don't ask questions. Poe starts talking with justified conviction about how literally no one showed up at Crate, and that they're shit out of luck in terms of allies to help them win this war. Which, I mean, yeah, that makes perfect sense. Then the movie, Zori, says that that's not true at all, and he should shut up. Ugh, really? But suddenly, Darth C-3PO sits up, and he tells them that the Wayfinder is in the indoor system on the Emperor's personal vault. Hey, wait a minute, isn't that where the... Suddenly, sensing a disturbance in the plot, Kylo's ship jets into the atmosphere. Man, why the fuck did that take him so long? It's probably been like an hour since they got here. Even if the Knights of Ren took 30 minutes to finally get Kylo the news that they knew where she was, he has taken ages to get here in a ship that can travel at hyperspeed, and was presumably present at the last planet they were on, otherwise how would Chewie get back into their ship? And as soon as it does enter the atmosphere, Rey goes all bug-eyed and says, Chewie? What? How the hell does your force sensing work? So you can sense that Chewie's life force is on that ship, but not when it suddenly ceased existing in the Forbidden Valley? Why are your powers so goddamn inconsistent? The movie really wanted us to think that Chewie was dead for all of 2 minutes. That is a gratuitous as fuck bait. So they run back to their ship and fly off just as Kylo lands. And they literally just fly off. No fucking stormtroopers camping their ship. Literally nothing at all. They just teleport back to their ship and fly off. Despite this being a raid and siege situation, there is no anti-aircraft weaponry, yet they thought these modified AT-ATs were necessary. No blockades, no checkpoints or anything, not even a stormtrooper going hey and shooting the ship. It makes no sense. People are just teleporting everywhere because if they didn't, you'd have to ask about the stupid time limit, which they keep referencing despite the fact it has no reason to even exist. And you might say, oh, but they have that clearance coin thingy. Well, as you'll see, it's not even in the ship yet. So they feed the coin into the ship and it immediately clears them for entry into Kylo's ship. Ignoring the fact that this medallion shouldn't even work, why does no one communicate to their ship to ask for identification? No one even sights the ship. Like I said, everyone in the First Order should know what their ship looks like. They should be public enemy number one. And don't tell me it's some 4D chess maneuver and they actually want Rey to be trapped on the ship, because their actions suggest that none of this was planned. Their negligence for security as a military installation that controls the galaxy is completely inconsistent. They send in 2 stormtroopers who ask for credentials and manifest. They ask for the shit after letting them onto their ship. Why didn't you just radio them, and if they fail to comply, blow them up? Plus, you should already know whose ship this is. It's the ship of the captain to who this medallion belongs. These stormtroopers should be walking in saying, "Greetings, Captain whatever." But no, their trash security detail is 2 idiotic stormtroopers who can't even see people at the top of this ramp ready to shoot them. Equally pitiful is this hangar's remaining standing force. It's 3 to 4 extra guys for this entire hangar. Wait, come to think of it, the First Order just got here. Surely they'd be suspicious if a random ship wanted to board, right? Hey, wouldn't the trip up here be a great time to call Rose and ask her, "Hey Rose, do you have any information about the layout of Star Destroyers from those schematics that you've been looking at?" Obviously she couldn't give them an exact location due to the fact that they're old schematics, but any information is better than what they have here. But I mean, that would mean putting more Rose in the movie, so I mean, that's not gonna happen. Shouldn't Finn have this covered anyway? I mean, he's a stormtrooper. Despite this being a different ship, they're all factory built off schematics. It makes sense for all Star Destroyers of the same class to have the same layout, right? Otherwise, navigation would be super confusing for stormtroopers transferring to a new ship. Which logically means that any stormtrooper who's completed basic orientation should know where the prisoner blocks are. Which makes sense. I mean, Poe was saved by Finn in the first movie in the prisoner blocks, so he should know exactly where he's going, right?
Which way? No idea. Follow me.
What the fuck? Finn, you floppy lobster. So they run off in a direction, and these stormtroopers pop out to try and kill them, and Rey mind tricks them. Kinda reminds me of that deleted scene from TLJ where Finn gets his ass slapped, except they left it in. And Rey has to ask them where the prisoners are, instead of just knowing already. Wow, so lucky they happened to bump into 2 guys who finished basic orientation. I love how they had to add this in. What's funny is they attempt to answer the question that assholes like I always ask. Why can't they find the protagonists on these floating fortresses using video surveillance? I just accepted that maybe surveillance developed differently in this universe or timeline, but hey, they actually put cameras on the ship. Good job, movie. But not really, because now all the guy manning the security monitors has to do is look down, find the cameras with busted feeds, and then lock down the area around it. Why is the security on the ship, which, let me remind you, houses the supreme leader of the entire faction, so terrible? They find the cells and Rey starts to walk off. Oh god, no, she's doing it again, guys. She looks like she's realized something and says,
The dagger's on this ship. We need it.
Why?
A feeling.
And they just let her walk off, because Poe realizes that she's practically invincible and can battle through an entire starship to Kylo's chambers, so she can sense the dagger in some way, shape or form. I guess that's fine. The only thing left now is Chewie's belongings. That was the other thing she asks the stormtroopers about. Oh, I'm sure Finn and Poe will find them, right? Meanwhile, back in Clown City, we see Ren's people murderizing, taserizing, and all around burninating the city. Wow, what an ambiguous, morally grey, and interesting character. He turns around to his knights and says,
Search the city again.
Implying that in the time that he's been there, they have searched the entire city. How did the stormtroopers not find their ship in hours when he can search the entire city in minutes? How inconsistent. What's even greater is Kylo says,
She's close.
Whoa, buddy. Looks like everyone's force radars are buggy today. How does your force sensing even work? If it's proximity based, you were literally meters away from her before she flew up to your ship. You salmon. How do you miss that shit? And I don't just mean Kylo, I mean the movie. How do you miss that Kylo's ship was meters away from Rey and he just didn't sense her?
Whose ship is this?
What do you mean, whose ship is this, you potato? You know whose ship this is. How? How could you have detailed reports about what happened in the Forbidden Desert down to casualties suffered and the actions of the fugitives, yet not have a sketch or even a description of their getaway vehicle? You are second in command of this fucking army, you wanker. The thrilling escape continues, with these trained military personnel failing to shoot them for the entire thing, and Finn remorselessly killing the people that he should sympathize with most, considering he was a part of their faction, 5 days ago? He's such a complex character, guys, watch out. When suddenly, whoa, Poe got shot, and I guess the person who fired that shot just forgot to exist for a couple of seconds. Because as he's lying on the ground, completely prone, they just, wait to die. Okay. But then they actually get captured. Wait, that's actually something negative. During all this, Rey just wanders into Ren's personal chambers. No security, no alarm, no fucking door. She just walks in. What's to stop someone like Finn, who, as a stormtrooper, was disillusioned with the First Order's brainwashing, to walk in here while he sleeps and murder him? Even if this isn't his bedroom per se, it still contains some of his most important artifacts, such as the fragments of his mask and Vader's helmet. So why did he just leave it open? I have no clue. Rey finds the dagger, and fucking grabs it by the blade. And I have no idea why, but Chewie's stuff is also here. Why isn't it in some prisoner effects locker? Did Kylo think it was pertinent to keep these items here? You would think you'd want to destroy this weapon, considering it was handcrafted by the prisoner who also shot him with it. But no, who needs nuance when you have merchandise? She picks the dagger up and suddenly, Kylo Skypes her. Once again, what are the limits to these 4 Skype sessions? Can only he initiate them? Do they have any prerequisites outside of plot convenience? What's to stop her from just walking out of the room before he figures out where she is? What's he gonna do? Hologram at her?
Wherever you are hard to find.
What? Okay. Rein it in, okay. Are you fucking me, movie? Are you actually kidding me? I get that he's in Clown City right now, but he's really fucking around by asking this. We've established that these two can see each other, as well as what they're wearing and what they're holding specifically. This is backed up by the fact that Rey comments on him being shirtless, and Kylo seeing the necklace earlier and snatching it. And what exactly is she holding in her left hand? The one-of-a-kind, inscribed Sith dagger that they just spent the entire movie finding. The dagger that he himself had to have put here. It's not even like it's some generic weapon or sword, no, it's established as an important artifact of which there's probably only one of. How the actual fuck is this not an immediate red flag to Kylo? All he has to do is call General Pride and tell them to lock down his personal chambers. There you go, movie over. But no. And it's not even like they forgot it for a frame. No, she has it throughout this entire scene. The fact that this dagger is able to be sensed by Force sensitives is even more of a fuck you. Did Kylo Ren get a fucking lobotomy since we last saw him? Oh wait, we last saw him here. Did Kylo Ren get a fucking lobotomy since the last movie? And then he starts blathering about how he wasn't lying when he told her parents were nobody?
I never lied to you. Your parents were no one. They chose to be. To keep you safe.
Are you fucking kidding me? What part of this dialogue makes it sound like they're actual people that she should care about and not just an attempt to subvert the audience expectation?
Do you want to know the truth about your parents? They're filthy junk traders who sold you off for drinking money. The dead in a pauper's grave in the Jakku Desert. You have no place in this story. You come from nothing. You're nothing.
Oh, and apparently their lightsabers can also pass through to the other side? So that's that question answered. We have a flashback to Rey's parents being taken and her yelling as the ship leaves. So this master Jedi hunter could find these two on a planet in the middle of fucking nowhere but not their 6-year-old daughter? Why? What is this plot? Then Rey cuts this fucking amphora full of berries and it just spills out all over the floor in his ship? Wait, what? Did the lightsaber give the berries incorporeality for a split second, teleport them up to the ship, and then make them corporeal again so that they could cover the floor? Why? He starts spouting all this nonsense about how her parents sold her to protect her, but then they wouldn't tell Ochi, the bounty hunter, where she was, so he killed them. I mean, she's right here in full view of the ship, in sand dunes. Isn't it a massive fucking coincidence that this is the exact same guy that Luke and Lando were chasing, and just so happened to have the fucking plot miracle invisible dagger that they needed? So, is this before they started chasing him? If it's during him being chased, quote, halfway across the galaxy by Luke, why the fuck is he picking up random people for Palpatine and murdering them? And did he just dump their dead bodies somewhere? Because they'd be on his ship otherwise, and Rey would have loved that. If it was before Luke and Lando started following him, then he wasn't pressured for time at all. He had the option of A, going back to Palpatine to get bitch slapped for not picking Rey up, or B, turning around and looking for her again. She couldn't have gone far. Even so, this plot point makes no sense. If he did go back to Palpatine, what's to stop him from sending this guy back to the planet again? Or another guy? If he happened to get killed on his way back, then why didn't Palpatine just send another guy? He managed to hire this guy despite being a fucking potato on this random planet, so... And that doesn't even scratch the surface of the awesomeness of this character. He's called Ochi the Jedi Hunter by Lando, despite there being literally only one Jedi left in the universe and him being hunted to the death by him. Secondly, look at this guy. He has no face. He looks like someone who has an aptitude for torturing the information out of people. But no, despite him doing jack shit to these guys, as evidenced by them being completely unharmed, he, and more importantly, Palpatine, deems them a lost cause and fucking gives the order to murder them. You are a master of mental manipulation, dude. Why were you talking all that hot shit about manipulating Kylo at the start when you can't even be bothered torturing information out of these fucking nerf herders? You know, like Kylo tried doing in the first movie, and Vader did in the good movies? What is wrong with you, Palpatine? What has happened to you, man? What sense does your plan even make? One of these two, or maybe even both of them, legitimately had more Palpatine in them than Rey does. Why wait an entire generational gap to start with the whole filicide thing, my dude? And what, did you really just sit around for 20 years and through the events of the last two movies and then suddenly think, oh sweet, must be murdering time? What was the catalyst for this? Snoke's death? But Snoke was your puppet. You'd instantly know that she'd be captured in the first movie and then suddenly realize, oh shit, that's Rey. Kill her. What, you're gonna tell me that she needed to go through these two movies to get strong enough to warrant attention from Sheev or Frank or whoever the fuck this character is anyway? She has not grown a bit in power. In fact, in the scene that she's captured, she resists Kylo with no force training. Kylo, the guy that you deemed good enough to be taught by Snoke, and by extension you dense fucking starch lord. I have no idea. There are so many plot points that they're trying to tie up here, and they're failing to give a convincing reason behind any of it. Her mother literally says she's not on Jakku, she's gone. This should be the biggest reason why you should search the planet again. Holy fuck. I like how Kylo had this pillar carted into his room at some point to rest the mask of Vader upon, because it was not here at the start of the movie. In fact, the way that they shot it made it seem like it needed to be kept in this secret alcove filled with dry ice. But no, now it's just out in the open, with the only logic behind it being that it looks cool to destroy, but no, the reason that they put this here is so that the mask can transport itself to Kylo. It's not damaged or anything, and it spawns like a foot above the ground and plops down. It's so weird. I think we finally have some concrete limits and parameters to this Force Skype thing. From what it looks like, Kylo is the only one who can initiate these sessions for unknown reasons. They have the ability to show the person's body in its entirety as well as what they're holding and wearing, speaking of which she's still fucking holding the dagger. Objects can be moved through space-time when they come into contact with the characters or their lightsabers. With things attached to their body, it seems to be a physical contact thing only, but as we can see with the lightsabers, it seems to have a hitbox. Look at this, his lightsaber is like a foot away, but the helmet gets sucked into the void. Kylo can also end them at will. Why him specifically? Well, we still don't know. Kylo turns around and there's this single stormtrooper who's just standing there. Was he watching Kylo flail around randomly the whole time? That is funny as fuck, not gonna lie. And Kylo says,
She was in my quarters. Lock down the ship.
But then, oh, you want me to be angry about this? You want me to be mad that she just walks out without it being locked down? Well, I'm not. In fact, it's entirely consistent with the rest of the movie so far, because the security on the ship has been useless. Why should I expect any different? It's one of the problems that this movie has as a whole. You would think that because the ability to light speed away and escape any situation at will was effectively removed, that main characters would be more restricted in their movement throughout the film. But no, I'm an idiot apparently. Rey just goes wherever the fuck she wants, whenever she wants, and the plot allows it. Oh, you want to walk out into the middle of the desert for no reason and still expect to be able to get off this planet? Well, go ahead. Oh, you want to leave that same planet without being blown up by a swarm of TIE fighters that can track you through hyperspace or get pulled back down to the planet by Kylo? Well, go ahead. Oh, now you want to get into this tiny city that's being raided by a presence of stormtroopers without being seen? Well, go the fuck ahead. Oh, you want to leave the planet now that you've completed your goal here without any interference from the stormtroopers and expect to just walk out? Well, go again. Those stormtroopers aren't even real. In fact, if you get anywhere near them, they stop existing. Oh, now you want to get into their military's flagship without them asking any questions? Well, go a tread. And now you want to leave. Just do it. We could have had a cool scene where Kylo locks the ship down entirely and forcibly takes her to Exegol and tries to convert her, but no. Later on in the movie, Rey herself even tries to forcibly limit her travel options, and the movie tells her to go and fuck herself, conjuring up a way to get to the next plot point. I just don't get it. Why would you purposefully limit the scope of your movie to 16 hours after the last movie was 5 hours of in-universe time? The original trilogy and the prequel trilogy spanned years. They wrote the script. They could spend as much in-universe time as they needed to tell the story. But now they have this stupid limited time frame. And for what? Palpatine said at the start that his fleet was almost ready, and it looks pretty ready to me. In fact, why are they even still floating here? What is he even waiting for? His 2 billion recruits? Do you want to know how to do urgency right? Watch Infinity War. There's no allotted time span of how long they have. All they know is that when Thanos gets all of the stones, they are fucked. Which ends up being the most gripping thing about it. Because we've seen what the motherfucker is capable of. He beat up the Hulk without even using the stones. Meanwhile, in this movie, what has Palpatine done? He hasn't even fucking stood up yet, and the movie is halfway over. Back to the others.
General, the scavenger's not with them.
Take them away. Terminate them.
Why? Why not just shoot them here? They are right in front of you. You already know that you have a spy among your ranks. Why risk 2 people from the only faction that knows your plan possibly escaping? Well, Hux says that he wants to do it himself, and in this tense, dramatic moment where they're about to be gunned down by a firing squad, Poe starts running his fucking mouth. Jesus fucking Christ. They actually start having a gossipy conversation. Talk about a mood killer. And they'd be babbling up to the point of their death if Hux hadn't shot the stormtroopers. Hey, remember when the bad guys in these movies were actually threatening? Yeah. Then he announces that he's the spy. Not gonna lie, I think this delivery is pretty great. But it's instantly ruined by Rey walking in and killing 5 stormtroopers in a row without getting shot once. With pinpoint accuracy and with a weapon she's never used before and is supposedly so heavy that humans can barely lift it. And yet she's waving it about like a fucking prop. Why you gotta do this, movie? And yes, I know Han used it. Han is also one of the most renowned gunslingers the entire franchise. So what's your point? Back with Poe and Finn, Hux asks them to shoot him so that he doesn't look like a spy. Which he does. Even though blaster shots in this universe literally burn holes in people, this one's pretty much a bee sting. Great. Just like Poe's completely forgotten that he got grazed with a laser blast earlier on. But that's okay, because the movie did too. Aren't there entire departments of the studio that are supposed to be dedicated to QC and continuity in these movies? Were they all asleep? Kylo and about 30 stormtroopers come into this room, and instead of just stunning Rey, he exposits all over her. He says that Palpatine wanted her dead because of what she'd become, as she is a Palpatine. Right, okay, so what does this change? You think this justifies why she's so powerful? No. That's really dumb. Even people like Anakin, who was a living Christ metaphor, had to train to get as powerful as they were. This doesn't explain her power at all, or give any credence to her ability to do literally everything without any prior training or knowledge. Even better, Kylo drops the fact that they are a dyad in the Force, which means they are one and the same. What does this mean? How does he know this? And what does the movie expect us to do with this information? Is this just intentionally a retcon of the Force Skype thing being Snoke's doing? Because wouldn't Snoke, and by extension Palpatine, have to know this connection was a thing to manipulate it in the first place? But Kylo explicitly states that Palpatine doesn't know they're a dyad, and that they should kill him together? Kylo, you dumb fucking cretin. You fucking fool. Absolute fucking buffoon. You bumbling idiot. Fuck you. You strange, inconsistent man. You had her chased with laser-firing ATVs which blew up her speeders. Then she almost died to a snake. Then you purposely tried to run her down with a spaceship. Then you had your men try and find and kill her. Just before this, you had a laser sword battle with her, one stray swipe of which would have killed her. Now you're backing her off into empty space and you expect her to join you? Any one of your stormtroopers could have killed her during this prison break. Any one of these laser blasts. Why the fuck didn't you tell her you wanted to team up at the start of the movie? In this scene here, the movie could have been about them finding a way to defeat Palpatine, who, let me remind you, is insanely powerful. But instead it's this bullshit. But that's okay, because the Millennium Falcon is here now. The Falcon hovers on the cusp of the hangar, and Poe blasts the full might of the Millennium Falcon's engines into the hangar. This subsequently blows all of the stormtroopers away and forces Kylo to use all of his might just to stay up. See, when a wind is blowing you from the front, you can tense your muscles in a stance like this to brace it. However, the human body has barely any mechanism for being pushed from behind. So what does this blast do to Rey, who is about 5 meters away from the source of it? Well, nothing, of course. She should be tumbling off into the hangar, but nope, she just stands here. Movie, you can have believable scenarios that make your characters look cool without going over the top. Seriously, it's not hard. Why do you have this massive boner for fetishizing Rey's overwhelming power through stupid spectacle? You know what she does after that? She jumps in the same path as the engines are blowing and floats into the Falcon. Okay? Meanwhile, Kylo has got up and he's running like it's not even a problem anymore. Oh, why didn't you do that initially then? Why aren't you force pulling her? You necklace giraffe. We see Hux talking to Pride, and he says it was a coordinated attack where they forced him to give up the Falcon. Why not just say they shot you, dude? But no, he gets executed by Pride. Great, I'm so glad that character went somewhere. Fantastic. I'm glad we skipped out on a character who had 2 movies worth of motivation and hate against Kylo by just removing him completely and replacing him with this complete non-character. It is fantastic. I love how in the prior scene he said all he wanted was for Kylo to lose, and then he just gets murked. What an arc.
Get me the Supreme Leader.
Yes, sir.
Tell him we found our spy.
Did you have to say it like that? Did you absolutely need to fourth wall break to say that? You can actually see the person that he said the first half of the sentence to, but when it comes to the second half, he doesn't even fucking look at her. And what's Kylo gonna do when he gets here? Look down at Hux and say, oh, that's real nice. There's so much potential that this movie has missed so far. You could very easily rejig this situation to have everything that Pride has done be attributed to Hux. Even with the plotline of his betrayal, there is no reason not to have him as second in command still. Think about all of the shit he could have been doing. He could have been the original one to find out that Palpatine is back and kept it from Kylo, and trained with him to fuel his hate boner against Kylo, and then came in with some new variation of a lightsaber, shortly after they turned Kylo to their side. He could have disappeared at the start of the film, and then came back as a masked assailant later on. He had a billion things to do in this movie. He actually has a pretty strongly characterized motivation. He hates his boss. But no, the one character where they actually have something concrete to work with and they fucking blow it. Rey is talking about her lineage and her hate for Palpatine.
You killed my mother and my father. I'm going to find Palpatine and destroy him.
That doesn't sound like you.
It's almost like he's scared that she's developing a personality. Then Rey says,
People keep telling me they know me. I'm afraid no one does.
well, that's because no one wrote you a character, sweetie. And Kylo's just back on the ship, and Palpatine's threatening him with his entire fleet due to the fact that he failed to kill Rey. And Kylo says,
I know where she's going. She'll never be a Jedi.
Make sure of it. Kill her.
Palpatine knows for a fact at this stage that you have fucked up. You've had 3 chances to kill her already and failed, if you can even consider this an attempt. He should know by now that it's pretty much guaranteed you're gonna try and betray him. Jesus. I mean, he saw what happened to Snoke. Palpatine should know for sure that Kylo would pull the same shit on him. Ow, my brain. As our heroes are leaving, Poe states that their landing gear is busted, and he's confused that no one is chasing them. Really, Poe? Now you're confused? Well, you weren't when it happened the other time. Or maybe it's because, oh, I don't know, they had the dagger with the coordinates to your next location on it. Yeah, exactly what I thought. Also, why did you temporarily become completely inept at flying your craft, Poe? Seriously, how the fuck did you crash? We just saw you, literally minutes ago, hover the Millennium Falcon over the hangar. How did you come into the atmosphere so hot that you dug up this massive part of the ground when you could have just hovered and let yourself down slowly? As you've probably guessed, this is another moment where the movie forces situations on the characters, taking actions that they would never commit to doing under being sane, just so the characters can be pushed where they need to go. For instance, Poe is an extremely good pilot. We are given examples of this fact due to his actions in the first, second, and so far third movies, and his position in the military, being fleet commander. However, he would need to completely lose all of his competency to crash land like this. At best, this is a breaking of the character's pre-established attributes. At worst, it's a thinly veiled excuse to get character events to happen. One way to counter this is saying that the landing gear was busted and they couldn't possibly land safely, especially while under the duress of a time limit. But even then, we saw the Millennium Falcon standing up just fine in the hangar. So, this is where the Death Star landed. Apparently the Death Star was also a dark side user because it survived being blown up too. Who would have guessed? Jokes aside, I don't mind its inclusion in the movie. The setting is pretty cool, and the dead stormtroopers inside and how dilapidated it looks is astounding. Props to the department, as well as the minimalistic Imperial March theme. Really, top-notch stuff. But then again, thematically and narratively, I have a lot of problems with it. This is mostly attributed to how they scale their super weapons, but we'll get to that. I know I've said that a lot, but I will. Either way, it does look like they're guilty of the good old land 30 meters away from where your destination is. They could have just landed on the Death Star, as we find out later, so I guess this is more like landing 4,000 meters away from your destination. They look at the wreckage of the Death Star, and good luck finding anything in there. But no, they just use this dagger and it points them straight to it. That's a good thing that in all the time this guy's been dead, the structure of the Death Star hasn't changed one bit, despite it being ravaged by interstellar planet waves for years. The bigger problem is that they happen to crash land exactly at this point, the point that specifically aligns the dagger to this part of the Death Star. What a great coincidence. Suddenly, a bunch of horse people appear and tell them that this guy told them that they were coming. Rey tells them that they have to go to the Death Star, once again invoking the nonsense time limit, and they say, nah, and leave with Poe to help fix the ship? Wouldn't the time limit be in the transmission that they sent them? Or did they not want to scare them with the stakes? Jeez, the Resistance really needs to up its transmission game. First Lando, and now this shit? The movie tries at the last second to try and give Finn some character development via this lady, whose name is Jannah. Her story is that her faction landed here after they mutinied as stormtroopers, and they scavenged their ship for parts, leading to them being stuck on this planet. You mean sorta like Finn? You're just gonna reuse that character concept again, aren't you? Are you going to do anything interesting with it this time, or just... Nope? Oh, okay. And whoa! Wait a minute, the QC department actually woke up again. Oh, thank fuck, look at that, Poe actually bandaged up his arm. Oh, it feels so damn good. Thank you, movie. Wait, why didn't he ask Rey to heal it? Oh, god damn it. Hey, speaking of Rey, where exactly did she go? Oh god, what is happening? How did no one notice she was gone? Oh right, she teleported. Yet again, the droid is giving advice or exposition or some sort of guidance to the main characters, which is really needed. I mean, no one cared about where Rey was before this, right? So where is she exactly?
She took the skimmer?
No, movie. This is where I tell you no. How the fuck is she even piloting this? This is a girl that lived her entire life on a desert planet, the literal furthest thing away from water known to man, apart from the vacuum of space, and yet she can flawlessly pilot this jerry-rigged watercraft? She would have almost no intuitive frame of reference for piloting something on water with its fucky physics. None, let alone this acquired technical skill to be able to successfully drive it. Look at how many levers and wheels and knobs this thing has. If she had left at night and had time to learn the controls, it'd at least have something going for it, but no, she's been on this planet for 10 minutes tops, and she can just do this with barely any effort. Not to mention that the people that have created this craft and lived here for what I can speculate is years deemed the water too hazardous to cross. The people who were willing to give their lives up for what they considered the last hope, and they thought it was too dangerous, which translates to me as being suicidal. But nope, In my mind, this speaks to two things. The first is the movie wanting her to get here so badly because of the self-imposed time limitation that it does the second stupidest thing out of just straight up teleporting there. Which it practically does anyway. How did she even get to wherever the speeder is docked? Did you see the cliff they were on? Oh, I get it. She floated down there. Why didn't she just float to the Death Star? It'd be more believable. The second thing is something that everyone who hates this trilogy will have you believe. That Rey is a Mary Sue. And if there were ever a Mary Sue thing to do, it's this. I shouldn't have to further this point, but if there's anything to point out in this movie, so far at least, that defines her as being one, it's this. And this. Something else that bothers me about this section of the movie in general is the dagger. I know the dagger, but I'm not even done yet. It is just a catch-all MacGuffin at this point. What does the movie even want us to think is going on with this thing? Rey's parents were murdered by it, sure, and when she picks it up, the faint screaming sound emanates from it. So her ultimate force powers can sense the pain this weapon has wrought. This dagger has a confirmed kill count of 2. Meanwhile, in her other fucking hand is Luke's lightsaber. Luke's lightsaber, which, let me remind you, was his father's before his, which, didn't have any history at all to it. Did it? You were telling me that she gets the shivers when she touches this dagger, but not when she uses his saber constantly? Why the fuck would the weapon itself be selective of which people it killed to keep in its soul memory or whatever? This thing has killed fucking children, but the dagger is evil? Once again, Rey's force sensing powers have been entirely on point. They're all arguing about Rey, and Janna comes running up to them and says,
"There's another skimmer."
Wait, why did that take you so long to say? You didn't say it in this scene. Were you not aware of your own resources before this point? What? Rey climbs to the top of the Death Star, almost dying a couple of times from just how run down it is. You could say that she has no business climbing this and it must be a Mary Sue moment, but let's look at the facts here. This was her life before leaving Jakku. Considering the wreck she scavenged in that film, it's a pretty consistent skill for her to have, though she wouldn't have been able to get here without the ability to pilot this thing being popped into her brain, despite the Death Star still being somewhat powered, as evidenced by these doors opening and closing. Palpatine's vault has no security protocols, and just lets her in. What happens next is analogous to the scene on Dagobah, where Luke encounters Vader in a tree, only to find out that striking him down in anger would only result to him falling deeper into the dark side of the Force, which only presents itself at the end of the battle. However, here we have Rey, but slightly more pasty and evil. She shows up for a fraction of a second with a very odd and impractical lightsaber, hisses, and then leaves. I cynically assume that they're attempting to shove anything in here at this point to gain nostalgia brownie points, but hey, maybe they'll develop Rey's character and this scene will have extra meaning by the end of the film. Fingers crossed. The Sith Wayfinder slides across the floor, coming to a rest at Kylo's feet? Is this another Force Skype session? It's gotta be, right? If not, then maybe he was hiding behind the throne until she got out? But surely Rey would have been able to sense him, right? Or are her sensing powers being sporadic again? She looks hilariously stupefied that he's here. What, did he take a skimmer too? Or did he just land on the Death Star like any sane person would? Kylo has a very strange taunt for Rey.
Look at yourself. You wanted to prove to my mother that you were a Jedi, but you've proven something else.
I'm sorry, what? What exactly has she proven by coming here? She was the only one that seemed to care about the time limit and what she could do to prevent the galaxy from exploding when she had no other option. Do you mean that bullshit with the skimmer? How does that prove she's not a Jedi? If anything, it proves that the Force is strong with her to the point of rending the plot. What has she done wrong? She found the Wayfinder. The plot of the entire movie hinged on finding this artifact. I am so damn confused. Why can she never go back to Leia now? Because she abandoned her friends for the greater good? What is this dialogue supposed to mean? But even worse, Kylo states that she is just like him, because he can never go back either. Well, okay, let's compare sins then, shall we? After Leia aids in defeating this evil regime and settling down to have a normal life, you fucking come along and build this. A weapon exponentially more powerful than what Leia spent her entire life fighting against, and achieved galactic peace by destroying as well as avenging her entire home planet. And you blow up the entire government. You blow up her partner and your father, and then you blow up her base. Then you blow up her ship and almost kill her, and then you blow up her base. Again, now you're hounding and trying to kill what could be considered a surrogate daughter at every location she visits. Meanwhile, Rey has fought against you at every turn, as well as saving her life at the end of the last movie. But because she climbed a fucking wall, they're somehow equivocal and scorn from Leia? Fuck off! So, can this question have meaning in an actual script? Well, let's see. Let's just imagine that Rey had been dealing with some shit. Let's say that Rey actually suffered hardships during this movie, and that some of her biggest failures paved the way for this moment. What if she actually killed Chewie in this moment? What if she had to force knowledge out of C-3PO with her new and presumably uncontrollable powers, and broke him? Or had to leave Finn on Kylo's ship? Or accidentally killed Hux without knowing that he was the spy that helped them, in front of Poe and Finn? Or had to watch while a planet was destroyed despite her being able to stop it? Let's just say that she stole the Force skimmer in front of them and had to cut someone's arm off to get it, leading to her Force pushing everyone out of the way because they couldn't understand what she was dealing with, making this moment more intense.
We have to get to that wreck. Too dangerous. We can go first light tomorrow. We can't wait that long.
This would give her bloodline contextual meaning and mesh with the lightning earlier, while also giving actual characterization to Rey. This would gratify the tension that the movie was building up the entire time. Her internal turmoil paired with the impossible time limit which everyone but her seems to ignore, leading to her destroying a more fleshed out and present Force Spectre in this vault after having a conversation with it about what she's becoming. Well then, good. That makes sense. Kylo would have had a point. But no, she's just here, trying to save everyone. She's done nothing wrong, but Kylo says, no, you're just as bad as me. Plus, Kylo, how did you even get in here? Did you climb up here too? Were you just behind Rey, or were you already in here? Did you drop down from the roof? Or are we just supposed to accept that you're in here because the movie says so? Give me more to work with. Kylo states that they are both evil because the dark side is in their nature and that she should surrender to it. If anything, her actions have proven the opposite. She has done literally nothing wrong. Why are you insinuating that she's evil? The Force Spectre in there is evil. She hasn't even begun to head down that path yet, so why the insinuation? Then he destroys the Sith Wayfinder, the artifact that they have spent the entire plot trying to acquire. If this was your intention, and you wanted Rey to join you so badly, I ask yet again, why did you do it in such a roundabout way? But question be gone, it's lightsaber time. And look, Kylo doesn't even retaliate through this initial onslaught. Oh, and then he just kills himself? Meanwhile, back at the Resistance base, Leia starts walking off. Oh god, the Zen is spreading, please make it stop, please. Look at this guy, he's so confused as to what's actually going on.
Leia knows what must be done to reach her son now. It will take all the strength she has left.
She didn't look too poorly before this. Are you telling me she's going to force project herself like Luke did? Back at the what the fuck? What's going on here? How are they down at ground level? The last time we saw them, they both jumped down a hole. To get up here, Rey had to climb this. You mean to tell me that they had a lightsaber duel while scaling this wall? Can you show me that, please, so I can make fun of it? Honestly, how do you even? I mean, I guess Kylo had access to the First Order schematics, so he knew where the Death Star fun slide was. So if there's any Force lightning, I guess we can blame it on static electricity, but what? Oh, and Finn and Janna are just here now. If anyone was to make it across the water, it would be the leader of the faction that lives here, but hey, remember how it was so dangerous that it wasn't even worth doing despite the galaxy-threatening stakes looming above their heads? I guess they don't know jack shit about their own planet or equipment. Good thing Rey does. A lightsaber fight. Again, why exactly do we need more of these? Let's see, what character motivations and plot threads are they intertwining by having these two engage in mortal combat? Rey is angry, I guess, that her pyramid was broken, because Kylo is schmelly and she doesn't want to be in his ship, so she started attacking him. And Kylo is angry because she attacked him. What do either of them want at this stage? Rey's plan is ruined, so she can't really do anything. I guess she just wants Kylo dead? And Kylo just wants to fuck around with Rey, or attempt to convert her, take her to Exegol against her will as a useless ally in the fight against Palpatine. This movie is staged in such a way that if Kylo wins, Rey and her gang are useless to the plot. Kylo has to lose or be converted here. There's no other Wayfinder other than the one that is in Kylo's ship. You know, the one that he blew up. But ignoring that, if they have no Wayfinder, it's going to take some rad Ex Machina to get them to Palpatine. So, honestly, what is the point of what's happening here? Then Finn runs out of nowhere and yells at the top of his lungs. But the movie is done characterizing him. He got his one scene where Janna told him that her platoon of stormtroopers mutinied bravely, making his betrayal seem anemic in development by comparison, despite the screen time he has. And the movie is so done with him that it forcibly removes him from the scene. There's a wave coming towards them, and they both jump in a direction, and the wave forgets to exist for the rest of the shot. Good thing too, or Finn probably would have drowned. Oh cool, the floor stab again, such varied choreography. Okay, I can pinpoint for sure the exact point that this movie shit the bed. When I saw this in the theater, I just knew I had to make this video. Just look at that. Holy fuck, that is amazing. But then Kylo starts winning? How? That's not supposed to be possible. What's going on here? But then Leia force projects her voice and says Kylo's real name, and then passes out, because I have no idea. Is she dead? Is there any reason why this would kill her? Luke projected an entire hologram of himself onto a distant planet. All Leia did was say the kid's name once, and she just fucking dies? I'm so glad she went out with some dignity. Fuck. And that bothers Kylo enough that he drops his lightsaber. Is this because he thought she was dead? Why would that even bother him? He gave zero shits about her in the last movie. Then Rey stabs him with his own weapon. Let me remind you that this is what a lightsaber does to a blast door in a ship. And this shit is there for seconds. God damn. All of his blood and organs would be completely vaporized at this point. And Kylo's lightsaber is probably the most devastating thing to be stabbed by. It is constantly spluttering, amounting to pretty much a serrated blade. So how does Kylo react to being surprise stabbed by this horrible weapon, specifically by Rey, and it being his own sword? Well, he doesn't. Meanwhile, Leia fucking carks it, and Rey realizes she's dead. Then Kylo just sits there, giving no fucks that all of his organs have ceased existing. And Rey force heals him. Yes, she not only defeats him in battle, again, but she just force heals him back to full HP. How fucking useless is Kylo anymore? He literally isn't even a character. He's ceased to be worth anything because Rey can just heal and resurrect him at will. How pathetic. What's even worse is she steals his keys and his ship. Great, I guess she didn't steal Kylo's lightsaber, the biggest threat to her currently other than Palpatine, because, she trusts him now? I guess she just knows how mentally broken he is now. They couldn't let him win a duel, even once. Then the Falcon comes in, because the fight is over and the characters need to get to the next part of the movie. Good old timing. I mean, where's it gonna land, huh? Meanwhile, the movie shows us that they didn't have a horizontal shot of Carrie Fisher, so they just put this cloth over her. Chewie does not seem the happiest either, and I'm there with him. I'm so glad that we brought this character back so we could see her work not be completed before she dies a second time. Thanks, movie. Meanwhile, Kylo's having a deep moment back on the Death Star, and whoa, holy shit, is that Harrison Ford? Dude, your character died in the first movie. You're not supposed to be on set, dude. What exactly is this? He's not glowing or a forced ghost or anything. He's just, here. Like, physically present. Well, the series already had a mechanic for allowing people to speak from beyond the grave, though. They never developed him as a Force user, though. So, I guess they wrote themselves into a corner and just did this. Because I don't know. Wait. No, I get it. It makes sense. No, he's actually alive here, isn't he? No, hear me out. No, seriously. You might say, oh, he fell down that pit, so he must be dead. Well, so did Palpatine, and he's in this movie. Oh, but you might say, yeah, well, Palpatine didn't get stabbed in the chest, did he? Well, no, but he fell down into a reactor and exploded twice. Han only exploded once. If anyone should have survived, it's Han. So that makes perfect sense. Then his dead dad that he himself murdered scolds Kylo for being a bad boy. Then Kylo fucking burns him.
I miss you, son.
Your son is dead.
But then he gets converted in like half a scene. Great, fantastic character development. Not only did Kylo inconsistently flip-flop throughout the entire trilogy, but instead of there being an actual gradual build-up to him finally changing sides, it happens just as it happened before. He just changes suddenly. Well, either way, he throws his lightsaber into the water. I guess that's why Rey didn't steal his lightsaber, because he had to self-reflect with it over at the green screen with Harrison Ford. Dude, I get that you're trying to shed your old persona and ways, but you might want to have held on to that. Oh, and the water's all completely calm now because scene's over, so even the waves go home. Meanwhile, Pride is, hey, wait a minute, why are you doing this now? You're telling me that only Kylo is cool enough for direct telepathy? Or did the movie really just want to get a big old Palpatine face filling up the frame? Well, I guess that's fine. I'm fine with more Sheev. Palpatine tells Pride that he's the new big head honcho because he's sick of Kylo failing him over and over and over again, so he installs Pride instead. Who drops this little tidbit of information.
As I served you in the old wars, I serve you now.
You've done literally nothing. Don't try and transpose yourself into the good movies at this stage, you fuck. Palpatine also says something quite perplexing.
The Princess of Alderaan has disrupted my plan.
Did he know for sure it was her? Could he sense her energy or something? Or hear what she said? Or did he just assume that she'd do that and it would turn Kylo? Because honestly, if he has that much power, I have no clue how the hell he hasn't won this war. He could probably blow up Kylo's brain by just talking to him telepathically. There is just no organic way for him to know what was happening on this planet, so the movie has to pop this information into his brain for it to continue. And Palpatine says something hilarious.
Send a ship to a world they know. Let it burn.
And it just slams home how awful the world building in this trilogy is. Can I even think of a planet off the top of my head that they can burn and any of the main characters care? Let's have a little look at all of the named planets we've seen in this movie so far. There was the desert planet, the one with that valley on it. I wouldn't really consider that a planet they know, really. Would anyone really care if it burned? And I mean, not like movie dramatic care, but actually care? Not really. What developed worlds do they even have in this trilogy? It really says a lot when I give more of a fuck about Alderaan blowing up in the original movie than any planet that they've introduced so far. They blew up 5 planets in The Force Awakens and no one gave a single fuck because they didn't try to establish the people on it at all. Outside of deleted scenes, just the role that these planets as a whole had. So what have we got? Well, there's Maz's planet. No one really cares about that anymore. Jakku? I doubt even Rey would give a shit. The only reason she wanted to go back there was because she thought her parents were coming back. Which I guess is shit out of luck now. In fact, she'd probably be happy if it was gone. Tatooine? I guess that's thematically appropriate. Get rid of all the traces of Skywalker in The Last of the Jedi. Even then it's a bit of a stretch because this is a world they know. Assuming they'd care if it got burned. Yeah. Canto Bight? That would kill 3 birds with 1 stone, so I'm all for it. First, it would knock out any chance the Resistance had to get more weaponry or ships from that place. Which I guess would harm the First Order too, but hey, not the Final Order. It would also be a planet we at least knew a little bit about, and more importantly, it would eliminate any chance for us to ever have to go there again. Exegol? No, wait, no, Palpatine's on Exegol. Silly me. Crate? Wait. No. Why? So what do they choose? Kijimi? The place that only literally one of them knew about before this movie, and has a total of what, 4 people that matter on it? Okay, well, go ahead. Is Palpatine being a dick to Poe specifically? The ship rockets into the space above Kijimi and fires its cannons, which destroy the entire planet. What? You mean to say that every single one of these ships has a planet destruction level super weapon on it? And every single one of them trumps the Death Star in terms of overall output and maneuverability? What the actual fuck, movie? Why would Palpatine even bother making the Death Star in the first place if this was a viable option? Why commission the Starkiller base if he had this fleet the whole time? It makes no goddamn sense. And it's just the biggest fuck you to the original trilogy. Haha, Palpatine OG, what an idiot. Imagine building such a massive station twice, you moron. Go fall into a reactor. I can't wait till Palpatine comes back in the 12th movie as a sentient vacuum cleaner because they sucked up his ashes at the end of the movie. Along with fucking stormtrooper guns that can blow up planets with their shots. Fucking Moore's Law, man. Then this droid that literally everyone ignored for the entire movie pipes up, and Finn turns around and asks this.
So what's your name?
You hadn't even asked for its name yet? How have you been telling it what to do and where to go before now? You just assumed that because you had the dagger you need nothing else from that guy's ship? The guy Lando and Luke chased quote halfway across the galaxy? Well, I'm sure it's justified. I mean, what kind of info would he even have on him?
This droid has a ton of information about Exegol.
Wait, what? Coneface?
Sorry, Dio.
What the how the no, movie. No. How the fuck do you let this happen? He was with our heroes the entire time and they didn't ask him what his name was or even plug him in one time? How is everyone in this movie so incompetent? And what's worse, Luke and Lando searched the same ship and didn't find this little guy worth a damn. What the fuck is going on? This is so ridiculously stupid. How can something this dumb exist? There is no explanation. And it's not just some trivial facts about Exegol either. No, they're the complete plans for sieging Exegol, along with comprehensive atmospheric data. What the galactic fuck is going on here? And they're not even surprised. They're not even like, oh wow, why did a Jedi Hunter have plans for sieging the entire planet that Palpatine was on for no reason? No, they're just angry that they still don't know how to get there. They were just handed the thing they needed by the movie for the conclusion to come about, and they're like, fuck. Well, I'm sure that the movie will give them away anyway. Meanwhile, back on Luke's planet, we see Rey burning Kylo's ship. She takes one last emotional glance at Luke's lightsaber before tossing it into the flames. But suddenly...
A Jedi's weapon deserves more respect.
I must be sure.
You fucking what, Luke? You soppy fucking multiple color milk drinking little shit? You do not get to say that. What, you think because you're a ghost you're immune to criticism? Well, you're not. You can't just act like a real person now that you're canonically dead. You've missed your chance, bro. So, can he physically hold the tangible lightsaber despite being a Force ghost? Oh, I get it. They're gonna make him come back later and finally redeem himself on Exegol. Well, that's cool. I'm glad they finally did something with the character. Doesn't explain why Luke didn't just fucking appear behind Palpatine and choke him out while he's vibing on Exegol. Or Yoda zap him with lightning, or Force suddenly smooth-skin Anakin finally getting his revenge, but sure. Go on, movie. She says that she saw herself on the Dark Throne, and that she's following his path from the other movie. Then Luke responds, practically directly into Rian Johnson's face.
I was wrong.
Thank you, JJ. That was epic.
Because you're a Palpatine. Leia knew it too.
They both knew? Since when? And they still trained her because of her good heart? This is coming from the guy who tried to murderize his own nephew because he believed that he was having evil thoughts. Rey takes Leia's saber and the Wayfinder, and he just wrenches his old X-Wing out of the water and says, go and kill Palpatine. I'm sorry, what the fuck? This was a fully functional ship the entire time? Are you fucking kidding me? Why didn't Luke just fucking fly to Crate or the Raddus in the last movie with this ship and force heal Leia on her deathbed? Or was he just content with being a fucking hologram? Wouldn't this make Force Ghosts an exceedingly powerful assassination technique? You could put a blaster in the Senate, kill yourself, and then Force Ghosts influence the entire galaxy. Why am I still talking about this? Okay, thanks Luke, good to see you again, have fun being canonically dead, shame we couldn't entirely unfuck your character. C-3PO comes in and he's like, oh hey, I'm receiving a broadcast from Rey, and she's showing us the exact way to Exegol on Luke's ship. They even say it's an old craft ID. Right, so they can look at this blip on the radar and be able to tell instantly whose ship it is by the ID, meaning that every ship has an ID, as well as being able to tell the ship's age due to its ID, yet the First Order can't look at the ID when letting a ship into their hangar? Also, she's just using the Wayfinder? I guess Luke prepared this ship to go to Exegol and she can just slot it straight in? Well, that's pretty handy. Even then, she still has to navigate through this nonsense, but I'm sure she'll be fine. Great, so the plans for sieging the planet, and now the directions for getting there, have just fallen into their laps at the last minute. Oh my god. How fucking redundant. The briefing scene happens, you know, the one that's usually in these movies. Except this time, instead of actual military intel, a whole host of bullshit happens. First of all, Poe says that the enemy ships cannot turn on their shields in atmosphere because why exactly? Oh, moving on? Okay. Then he says that leaving the planet is hard because they don't know which way is up. What? They need help from a tower because they don't know which way is up. Movie, I swear to God. Look at the ground, manually program the opposite direction, there you go. Problem solved. Why do you need a goddamn tower? What, you think because there are so many of them they can't see the ground? Tell the guy at the front of the fleet to relay the coordinates to everyone. Easy. Also, why aren't they in space already? If they were built elsewhere, why did he bring them into the atmosphere and bury them? Why didn't he just leave them in orbit? Why did he collect them in one single concentrated fleet instead of dispersing them throughout the galaxy? This is the Emperor. He has contingency plans. Why do you think this movie exists? Finn then proceeds to say that he has a plan for taking out this navigation tower once the air team finds it.
Air team's gonna find the tower, ground team's gonna blast it.
Ground team.
I have an idea for that.
What? Finn, you can't just keep military information a secret just because you might spoil the audience. Well, you can, but it's making you look very silly in this meeting. And secondly, ground team? You have ships that shoot literal explosions, and you need a ground team to take out a tower? Are you mental? Even these useless ships from the last movie could take out a tower. And who says they don't have more than one tower for commanding such a large fleet anyway? It just makes no sense. Seriously, the time limit's up, they should have left by now. Plus, Palps, stick to your guns, man. You said all 3 worlds would burn, the time limit's up and you've only killed a single planet. And thirdly, why the heck would you even need a constant broadcast from this thing? You would get the signal, save the coordinates, and then the tower wouldn't be needed anymore. Remember, all they need to do is find out which way is up. Well, the Resistance is fucked then, because they already have those coordinates. They got them at the start of the movie. Fuck the shit, man. Then Rose says that all of the ships have a video game weak spot, and they will all die if they shoot the cannons. Oh golly me, isn't that freaking convenient? Good thing Palpatine never learns his lessons with putting a weak spot on these damn doomsday devices. Well, apart from when he did that one time, but we don't talk about that because it'll ruin my agenda.
We need to put some holdo maneuvers. Do some real damage.
I have been waiting for the entire movie for them to try to explain this, because how do you? Anything with a hyperdrive has just become a fleet-destroying weapon. No rules were ever established as to why this worked, making all of the stakes of previous films redundant. But go ahead, movie, please explain it. Oh, I bet it's going to be something like secret fuel, or secret space engine, or secret something else.
Come on, that move is 1 in a million. Fighters and freighters can...
No. You cannot just fucking skip past it like that after saying one line. And it's not even a good explanation either, are you fucking kidding me? Please, any explanation but that. Don't give this soppy dish rag any more kudos than she deserves, really. God damn, that is fucking atrocious. Because these hardened generals really look like what she's attempting as a 1 in a million. Right, that makes perfect sense that they're shitting their britches over a 0.00001% probability. This really does seem like JJ is just saying fuck you to the audience, but I think it's more that he's giving the big middle finger to Rian Johnson's interpretation of his movie's plot. You can basically hear him screaming, "I've spent enough time answering for your bullshit, now it's time to make the movie." Which, I mean, that'd be great if he actually made a decent film after that, but he doesn't. In fact, the last third of this movie contains some of the most egregious bullshit in the entire films. But let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. One of the crew rightfully says,
"We'd be no more than bugs to them."
To which Poe responds, No, it's fine. I've got permission from the movie. It's fine. I'm retconning that we have no allies anymore. It's fine. Fucking Lando, whose flying days are over, mind you, is going to fly to the middle of the galaxy and broadcast a message to get allies to help them out. So let me reiterate, we're now down on their luck, but plucky Resistance gang not only kills the supreme leader of the First Order, not only blows up their super mega death planet, but wrecks their biggest ships too, and needs help dealing with some belligerents left over from the conflict, in their lowest point the First Order has ever been. Everyone ignores them. Everyone just sits at home doing their knitting and going, meh, there's still another movie in this trilogy, I can wait. But when Palpatine comes back with 10,000 times the power the other guys had, they deem it a credible threat? Or do they just not hear the message? You could even say in this movie that the message was blocked somehow and they didn't realize at the time, and Lando had to get past a blockade to reach the bulk of their allies, but no. And you might be saying, yeah, but they only broadcasted it to the Outer Rim. And? What's to stop one of their allies in that area rebroadcasting it so more people hear it?
We've got friends out there. They'll come if they know there's hope.
So they didn't have hope last movie? Well, what was all that about the sun or whatever it was? Anyway, this thing, I called it a space barge earlier, but we all have our moments of weakness. It's either the same class of ship that Leia had in the first movie, or the exact same one that was in the first movie. How they retained control of it and how it wasn't destroyed, despite the fact that the Empire would definitely want to destroy all evidence of the insurrection that occurred aboard said ship, is beyond me. It's literally just here for fan pandering, isn't it? We've established earlier that it's an unnecessary risk piloting something like this to their final outpost anyway. Fuck. Anyway, through this tunnel we go. I'm just imagining how terrifying this would be for any uninitiated wildlife aboard, but that's kind of a weird concern to have, isn't it? They zoom into the atmosphere, and despite being fired on by all of the ships there, Poe still has time to let off a quip.
Welcome to Exegol!
Yay, you go, Poe. Wait, Finn, what are you doing? You're the Vice General of the Army and you don't even have a communication headset or helmet on? You lose the use of half of your arms every time you communicate with your faction. Ah, it's so good! Oh, and Jen is here as well. Great. Why exactly? I get that she'd want to help out, but did he just convince her or her whole faction, or what's going on here? Surely not. Also, what is going on with this planet exactly? Why aren't there massive craters in the ground from where the ships burst out to? What the fuck is going on here? This planet has the weirdest set of plot-critical grey areas I've ever seen. General Pride sees them coming and he just turns off the tower. And nobody thought this would happen. Fucking clown world, I swear to God. Was the fact that it wasn't guarded by literally anything not a giant red flag to you guys? So Pride activates the tower on his ship, and Finn immediately notices it, telling them to go blow that one up instead. Which is perfectly reasonable to just be taken out by a fighter, but no, Finn wants his ground attack. He insists on launching this attack on a Star Destroyer. I'm not even going to begin to go into detail on what's wrong with that. Yet. When they land their troop carrier on the ship, Pride says, "Jam the speeders." Wait, you guys can do that from a Star Destroyer? What is the purpose of that? When are you ever going to have speeders on top of your ship? And if it's a long-range thing, then they could have just used it in this scene. Can the movie stop contradicting itself for 1 second? Well, whatever. What's their ground invasion plan?
They're not using speeders.
No, are you fucking kidding me, movie? I'm done. You just can't make this shit up. You really can't. This is a case of the movie wanting something to happen so badly that it ignores all semblance of it making sense for a fucking visual. God, where do I even begin with this shit? Okay, these thingies here, they're the horses from Endor's moon. How the fuck did they get here? The lady confirmed that the only ship that they had was the one that they came on. You know, the one rendered immobile because they scavenged it for parts. This means that Finn and Poe transported her, about 30 of her tribe, and 30 fucking horses via the Millennium Falcon to this jungle planet. Then kept them auspiciously out of frame for the rest of the movie up until this shot. What in the ever-loving fuck was your plan? Why take these endemic horses out of their environment for use in a space battle? A space battle! Why are you using horses in a space battle? What part of your drug-addled mind convinced you that they'd be of use here? Did no one in the military planning session say literally anything about how stupid this was? Or did they actually think he was just memeing and didn't realize he'd go ahead with it? Seriously, how the fuck? And all that's covering is how these things got here in the first place. Know what else is hilarious in regards to logistics? All of the horses in this transport had to go through this to get to Exegol. I'm surprised they're not fucking manic at this point. Imagine 30 mounted horsemen going through this shit. These horses have never flown before. But that's not even the funniest part. They deploy them on a fucking Star Destroyer. You know what would happen as soon as they opened that gate? The horses would lose their balance, fall the fuck over, and stop. And there'd be a big pile-up. But no, somehow these are high-altitude nerves of steel magic horses that do whatever the fuck the plot wants them to do. They can even be rode and controlled perfectly by someone who's never even rode a horse before. And this time it's not even Rey.
Not bad for one lesson!
Oh god, maybe it is Rey. But at least they gave that explanation. Unlike Rey, who didn't have any lessons to do this. So watch out, the movie's learning. And you want to know the real kicker here? The real problem I have with this scene. No, it's not the magical horses, it's not the stupid fucking ground assault, it's not even the tower. It's the fact that they landed 300 meters away from their target. You're in a spaceship. You can land wherever you want. Why didn't you land near the tower? By creating the most convoluted, stupid plan possible, you somehow created the greatest chance for success, but you still fucked it up because of where you landed. Come to think of it, what was your original plan anyway? To land 300 meters away from this ground tower, blow it up, then trot back to the ship and continue fighting? You dense fucking movie. All the Star Destroyer has to do is literally anything. It could move forward at 1 meter per second and you'd all be thrown off and die. It could move in any direction. It wouldn't even need a navigation tower of any kind. It could fucking tilt and they'd all die. And you might say, oh, but a Star Destroyer can't tilt. We've never seen that before. Well, that doesn't stop it from tilting later on when it's being destroyed, meaning that deactivating one or more of its thrusters would cause this, and something that you could feasibly do. But nah, just let them blow the tower up. They deserve to win the prize for stupidest plan. Then Palpatine says this.
I never wanted you dead. I wanted you here.
How? You either have godlike powers of luck manipulation, or you're a fucking liar, Palpatine. How can you confidently say this, knowing how much shit she's been through? She could have died about 1.5 billion times, yet you say this was all planned? What about the snake? The fucking snake? Did you call off the snake so that she wouldn't die? Are you the one who harmed the snake in the first place? If your plan was to have her here, then what did she learn past being in the first movie that was so important that you couldn't have just snatched her up at the start? Literally nothing. She's just as overpowered as she always was. What the fuck? You literally could have warped her here, halfway through The Force Awakens, and said, lol, I killed your parents, and she'd be just as mad as she is here. And my earlier point still stands. It doesn't matter if he actually wanted her alive, not dead, like Kylo said. Why the fuck could he not just send another ship to Jakku to go and grab her? Is there any reason at all for him not to? It's ridiculous. He tells her to sit on a chair so that she can rule the galaxy or something. It's already been established that incredibly powerful Force users can float. So why do you need all of this shit, Palpatine? What is you, a bitch? Either way, there's no time to think about it, because it cuts back down to Ground Zero Idiotville, where these two nonces are yelling about how they're going to destroy the tower. Then Janna throws a grenade backwards, yes backwards, into troops she had to have battled past to get here. To be here, they're literally surrounded by the enemy faction and no one's doing anything about it. My god, this movie wants me to hate it, doesn't it? There's this panning shot of them right outside the tower, you know, the goal of their invasion, and their own troops are running past the destination, because creating a defensive wall for your allies is too much to ask for, apparently. BB-8 jacks into the ship, which immediately opens the hatch, because droids do things quickly when they're plugged in. The tower is destroyed, and Pride tells them to activate the ground tower again. Yeah, that's what I thought. In fact, why is there only one fucking tower for this entire fleet? Why doesn't every single ship have a tower? And plus, you didn't kill the ground one? You had one fucking job. How did you screw it up so badly? You thought that because the tower was turned off, they couldn't turn it back on? Then Kylo's here all of a sudden? Wait, did Kylo seriously just teleport here? He had no ship when he was on the Death Star. Are you kidding me? He probably awkwardly asked for a ride from Finn, but then they walked back to the Falcon and he just sat there all sad. Wouldn't you consider it part of your contingency to blow up this planet anyway, Palpatine? You know for a fact that Kylo has turned at this point, so he's useless to you. Why do I even ask these questions? Because I already know the answer is that the character's mentally deficient. I feel kind of bad even referencing how impotent Palpatine is at executing plans at this point. He's clearly gone senile. So Kylo teleported here. Well, no, I riffed on this part pretty heinously in my original script, God rest its soul, 40 hours wasted, about how he had to ask Pride, or the Resistance, or Babu Frick to come and pick him up. Ideally, a couple of things could have happened. Number one, the rest of our heroes were there when Rey turned him and was offered help by them, which, fat chance, I know, but the movie just beat me about the head with a fucking space cavalry, give me a break. Or two, Kylo called a galactic Uber, but regardless, this is the movie's legitimately posited answer, because for all its faults, it tried. It really tried. But for some things, I really wish it hadn't bothered. So when Kylo arrives, we see him running in. Behind him is Luke's old ship and an Imperial TIE fighter. Not one of the new fighters. Oh no, my friend. An old Imperial TIE fighter from the Death Star. That's right. The movie seriously expects us to believe for more than a second that Kylo found a completely intact TIE fighter in the wreckage of the Death Star. The movie seriously expects us to believe that despite there being a presence for years of these horse people, there was still a completely completely intact, working, and non-scavenged TIE fighter that was capable of interplanetary travel despite it being an old model from the original trilogy, which, let me remind you, couldn't lightspeed travel.
A fighter that size couldn't get this deep into space on its own.
The movie expects us to believe that despite the Death Star exploding into literal millions of pieces, that there are pieces not only larger than stardust, but pieces this large, and that they are intact, working, and finely calibrated airships that still reside within it. The movie expects us to believe not only that all of these things are true, but that Kylo could have actually found one quickly enough to get here, mere hours after Rey left. And the movie expects us to believe not only everything that I have just said, but the fact that, despite the entirety of the runtime of this movie up until the point was dedicated to this treasure hunt to find the Wayfinder, through the use of this dagger and all the nonsense in between, that it was all fundamentally and instrumentally pointless. Because Kylo just gets here without the Wayfinder. Because he just can. Because how else would the movie get him there? By making sense? No, and for all the questions this movie hasn't answered, would one more really harm it? Well, the movie's dead at this point, so go nuts. Trying to think on the other side of the argument, I couldn't come up with much. Maybe the TIE fighters held the coordinates to Exegol in their memory banks and could only be accessed by a special code. Maybe this was an escape ship in the Death Star that had a hyperdrive. Whatever. Kylo jumps in because he can't be bothered waiting for the elevator to come back up. And he smashes into this big-ass chain and says, "Oh, so now you feel pain?" At this stage, the movie starts cutting back and forth between these three subplots: the siege on Exegol, Kylo's descent into Palpatine's lair, and Rey's confrontation of Palpatine. During which, Finn's plan is to take down the ship because, it's the command ship? Why them specifically? They're all identical anyway. Why wouldn't every ship have a tower like this on it? Also, why is this tower on the side? Why didn't you put it up the top like all the other diagnostic stuff is? But really, is this all they have left for the characters to do in the meantime? We could have some sort of confrontation, but go ahead, name any character other than Palpatine that's on the evil side right now. Well, there's, this lady, Hux, wait, no, oh, there's this guy, what do I win? That's right, no one gives a solitary fuck about the Final Order anyway. There's no one left. How sad is that? How do you turn a massive terrorist group with legions of Star Destroyers into some hollow faction with no characters that we can relate to outside of frickin' Plank Man here? In Palpatine's lair, Kylo runs in, shooting these two guys who are just, here. Who are these guys? Why are they here? But that's fine, because he's about to have a final confrontation with his own knights. Because despite him, I don't know, giving them orders and paying them, and them being his boys that he trained and spared from being murdered, and him giving them the name they have, they've just been turned to Palpatine's side off screen. Know what's even better? Not one of them. Not one of them has said or done a single memorable thing in the entire trilogy. They're not even characters, they're not even people, they're a plot contrivance, and a poorly written one at that. They could have been taken out up until this point and nothing would have changed, except now they start wailing on Kylo. He pushes one to the left, and then pushes one to the right, and oh me oh my, he completely forgot that he had a gun 20 seconds ago. You can't make this shit up, I swear, it's just gone, he doesn't even try. He just lets them surround him too. God damn, Kylo, now would be a good time to choke a fool, but nah. So Kylo gets a slow bludgeoning to death off screen while Rey confronts Palpatine. But thankfully for Kylo, he's got like 1 billion plot armors. I mean, he survived this. Most of these weapons have a sharp edge to them, or spikes. Hell, one of them is a sword, but nah, he just gets up and keeps on ticking. Meanwhile, Rey puts her lightsaber behind her back. At the very least, this movie did something right. It made Palpatine say, "Do it again."
Do it!
Unironically, that's the only good thing in this movie, apart from Julio, who they fucking murdered. The lightsaber transports itself to Kylo. Was it worth it, movie? Was it worth setting all of that up just for this? There's nothing better you had up your sleeve? Not that it matters anyway, because Rey just has another lightsaber. Good thing the knights all took a smoke break while beating Kylo's ass for him to be able to do this, huh? So he murders them all. Ooh, superb. Glad we got to hear about all these guys and their story. No, of course that's not all, because look at this goofy shit. Rey's just flinging around her lightsaber and all these royal guards are dying like it's nobody's business. Kylo's hitting these guys' weapons with lightsabers, which apparently don't melt when touched by them. Woo? These two guys hit him at the same altitude with their weapons because that's how you attack someone prolific for using a sword while you have a 2-on-1 advantage, right? Who trained these fucking idiots? Oh shit! Kylo turns around to defend himself against the sword, which ricochets off. And what's this guy doing in the meantime? He's twirling his axe around like an idiot. But when Kylo turns his back, he does nothing? Did he fall over or something? Where did he go? Well, I guess he's just dead. He's not even the worst guy in this. Look at this fucker. Kylo does the come at me bro move, and the guy has a gun pointed straight at him. But he waits. What are you waiting for? For JJ to shout action? You could have killed Kylo ages ago, you idiot. Kylo even looks the guy dead in the eye, and then swipes past him. But it kills him anyway. And what are these chumps behind him even doing? Whack him with your stick. Palpatine doesn't even want him alive either, so don't use that as an excuse for why they're so bad at their jobs. Meanwhile, back in Clown World, I've lost count of what version this is, Rey's flinging her lightsaber around with all of these reflected blasts one-shotting the red dudes, who are using guns now, by the way. Apparently Palpatine thought disappearing knives were a bad idea, so he reinstated the use of guns in his private guards. No zappy sticks either. Why don't they just shoot in unison at her is beyond me. Did Kylo train these guys too? But regardless, what is the movie trying to convey here? Other than a light show. Palpatine wants her to kill him. She can't do that if she's dead. What orders are these guys acting on? Just go die orders? Is that the same orders that Palpatine gave Kylo in the desert? Then again, after all of this plot nonsense, if I was Palpatine and saw him do that, I'd immediately have him killed. That shit was dangerous, and I want my granddaughter alive, despite telling you that I want her dead. He probably thought Kylo was too inept or too much of a bitch to do it, which, I mean, he was right, wasn't he? But I've sidetracked myself. Look at this shit. She catches this blast, reflects it, instantly killing this guy. Then she reflects this one, which bounces off this guy, dealing no damage, and kills his ally. What? Why is their armor so selective? What is even the point of wearing armor useless against your own weaponry? Did his armor enhance the energy of the bolt so it could pierce and kill the other guy? I don't know. Does the movie know? Then Rey's doing the same thing with the same fight choreography. Force pull, then spin to reflect the lasers against the same amount of enemies? Why? A couple of them die due to her force pushing them to the ground. But my MVPs out of both fights have to be these two. I just love these two guards. They're probably the best characters in the entire movie. I'm not even lying. Look at this guy. What a champ. He's fighting his little heart out, and then he just gets shot in the back. By who, you ask? I have no idea. Then there's this guy. Oh, he's so cute with his little blaster. He spends most of the fight pointing it in the air and firing at the roof. Bless his soul. Really, how do you excuse these mistakes? It's not even that they just left it in because it was funny. This is a dramatic, pivotal point of the entire series. If I was going to be lenient, I'd say they just missed it. It's a brief few scenes of action that look good enough stitched together that nobody caught it. But this is Disney, who have put on screen some of the most coherent fights through studios such as Marvel. So is it really a case of it being so brief that no one would catch it until the Blu-ray released, and therefore after they'd made the bulk of their money of the release from ticket sales? 'Cause that's kinda sad. Have some pride in your work. No, not like that. Kylo finally pops in and they instantly both get force choked. Why all this then? Then Palpatine realizes that they're a dyad and tries to suck them, and gains all of their life energy or some shit. Whatever it is, I'm sure it's not important. So his plan has changed then. Is this power so strong that he doesn't need to die to live again another day or some shit? That makes me even more confused as to how he didn't know about it. How else would he justify this lightsaber pass? Or the report for what happened at Kijimi? Or the Forbidden Sand planet? Like, what? Did Kylo purposefully obfuscate this information from Palpatine? Nah. Pride has been on Palpatine's side the entire time and had access to the battle reports. Surely he'd have some questions about how he force-sucked a necklace through space-time, or at least tell Palpatine about it. What's even worse is that he could have known about this connection and it wouldn't have made a difference. In fact, it would have given a lot more credence to his actions, but now it just makes it seem all the more convenient that they both happen to make it here after all of this hardship. But nah, he had to tie up the plot thread of the Knights of Ren and couldn't have done that without thinking Kylo wasn't valuable. But then, when all is lost, all of these people come in. Where the fuck were you guys at Crate? Holy shit, look how many of them there are. God damn, and not a single one showed up at the Crate battle? I guess that's it. They just really didn't want to be in that movie. But like I said earlier, the stakes were lower. Did they really just not care? Not one of these allies were in the Outer Rim. Why even go to or build a resistance base where you can't communicate with allies? Oh, hey Zori. You survived? How? The hyperlanes were blocked and they didn't stop you from leaving the planet before it blew up? What was all that about the coin then? What? This movie is obsessed with baiting characters' deaths. Real mature movie. But something very important is about to happen. Something that will redeem this movie and make it the movie we all wanted. Kylo's redemption arc. Kylo has finally battled through all of his demons in order to get to this point and stands triumphant alongside Rey. No malice, no darkness left in him. Oh glory, I've never seen a character so maligned. Let's just briefly reminisce about all of Kylo's achievements as a character. So he's the hot shit, right? He can stop blaster bolts and hold them in midair with seemingly no effort, torture the information out of people without using any torture droid or anything. Plus he has this really cool lightsaber. But then everything starts going downhill for our buddy Kylo, oh boy. He gets bested in a mental battle by a random girl who knew nothing about the Force until 10 minutes ago. Then he gets reprimanded by Goldmember about it, despite him knowing her lineage. Which is horrifying in its own right, but hey, we've got more to talk about. After this, he gets beaten to near death by the same girl who A. has no Force training, B. has never held a lightsaber, C. has no formal sword training, only staff training, which I guess someone could make a convincing argument as a sword-type weapon, against Kylo, who had chosen one levels of power which dwarfed even Luke's wildest nightmares, being trained personally by Luke, then Snoke, who was an extension of Palpatine, one of the most notoriously powerful people in the entire series, plus having held a lightsaber since I'd assume he was able to, like youngling level. So that's a pretty big hit to your ego, right? Well, at least you still have that battle station you work so hard on, right? Oh, shit. So what do? Try and reinvent yourself, you know, let your hair down, take off that silly mask and smash it. Yeah, take a deep introspective look inside yourself, and with the help of a cute girl, defeat your smelly boss. But really, Kylo is still evil. Yep, for no reason really, he just kinda flip-flops everywhere in these movies. It's like he tries to be a good guy, and then the movie's like, no, we still have plans for you as an evil guy, so do that. So when the cute girl turns you down, you try and blow her up. But then your stinky uncle comes in and humiliates you in front of the entire army by not even being there, so you look even stupider. Then you somehow lose track of the people you were fighting despite having the ability to track through light speed. I mean, I'd be pretty depressed at this point if I were Kylo. So what do you do now? Commit to more evil actions, kill and raise presumably several planets in search of a pyramid. Then track down the girl to this desert planet by grabbing her necklace. Accidentally force her to believe that her best friend is dead and that she did it, then track her to this ice planet. Then keep trying to kill her. Try to force her to come with you, but even after all of that, she still humiliates you. So you think to yourself, am I really that evil? No. So you pick yourself up and start the hard journey back to being good again. You both metaphorically and physically rid yourself of the past, defeat the people who you loosed on the galaxy, and stand face to face with your new ally to fight for good, against the man who corrupted your grandfather and you, as well as countless others, and the cause of the darkness you dwelt within, the one who manipulated you throughout every step of the way, the one who used you for his own ends to try and destroy the galaxy, and you pick yourself up, ready to fight him. Ready to defeat him. One last act for you to redeem all of the terrible actions you've committed and to free the galaxy once and for all. One final fight. Oh. Well, how are you gonna top this then? Oh, Rey gets the Avatar state? What an arc. Of course she does.
Final steps, Rey. Rise. And take them.
Rey. Bring back the balance, Rey, as I did.
In the night, find the light, Rey.
You're not alone, Rey. Every Jedi who ever lived lives in you.
The Force surrounds you, Rey.
Let it guide you as it guided us.
Feel the Force flowing through you, Rey.
Let it lift you.
Rise, Rey.
Wow, these are all people who are canonically dead now. So if you liked any of these characters, some of which are still alive in other media, and some of which weren't even shown in the movies yet, I'm sorry, but they're all dead by this point in the timeline. Hope you love this movie even more now. So she stands up, and instead of Palpatine yeeting her, or literally anything, he stands up and starts zapping Rey. So Rey, because she hasn't been taught how to mitigate such a dark force power, is turned into a pile of ash and dies. No, wait, she deflects the lightning of Palpatine. Right. I mean, Mace Windu trained for years to be able to pull that off, and he was prodigiously powerful, and Palpatine was weaker then, so what gives? Well, Rey? And I guess if you take it literally, his soul is inside Rey right now, so it makes perfect sense. So instead of, well, I don't know, using both hands to shoot in two different places, he just keeps firing at the lightsaber. You know, as you do, because he's never learned, apparently.
I am all the Sith!
And she says the literal kindergarten reply of,
I'm all the Jedi.
And she pulls up the second lightsaber and walks at him, forcing him to reflect the lightning back into his own face. Woo! Huh, it's a good thing that having two lightsabers gives you a hidden 2x boost to your power. Wait, wouldn't that make Grievous the most powerful character? Or is that shit capped at 2 to keep it balanced? Did Darth Maul get the buff? I know that's a bit off track, but hey, it's better than this. So Rey has 2 lightsabers now, which makes her even stronger, and she blasts Palpatine away with his own lightning because she's so strong. And she explodes him into a billion pieces, and then he dies, and then the throne dies, and then the explosion is so powerful that all of his random followers we know nothing about die, and the entire arena just gets all blown up. And she stands in the middle of it all, and she's perfectly fine and completely unharmed and just the coolest ever and so powerful. Then the plot conveniences finally catch up with her and she, falls over. So, Rey's dead? How exactly? This is pretty much nonsense as far as I'm concerned. I thought she had infinite energy. Well, freaking talk about inconsistency, am I right? But look who's back, it's Kylo! After all the shit he's here to, well, he can't exactly undo any of the damage he's caused now. Is this why Rey plays dead here? To make him feel like he actually did something? Well, that's sad. He must have been climbing for a damn long time. Phew. Kylo, rather awkwardly hugs her. Then he force heals her? Fuck you, movie, it's not that simple. It's not even a dyad-related power, unless that snake was part of their, triad. But no, just because she used it on him, he suddenly realizes that all it takes is to put your hand on someone's stomach. You think someone would have tried that already in the thousands of generations of Jedi tradition. Nah. Wow, this really is a Disney movie. Well, that's it, folks. They've done nothing short of straight up kissing the person back to life at this point. Oh, come on. Then he dies too. Hey, Rey, why don't you just force heal him back to life? Rey? Oh, he's fucking gone. What a legendary arc Kylo had. Yo, what's Palpatine's spirit doing during all this? Just watching them? Wasn't this his plan? Movie? Wouldn't he have like 30 backup bodies in the lab below him? Whatever. Then Kylo fades out of existence because he knows he'll be more powerful as a Force ghost than anything else. Wait, why did Leia disappear? Was she alive the whole time and just pieced out because Kylo did? Can someone explain this? What are you smiling about, you stupid naked mole rat thing? Where's that story about how you got Luke's saber? I'm waiting. I can't even really think about why this even... Did she project herself as Han, too? Was that her? Turns out the hunch that Rose had about all these cannons being their weakness was true, and every single one of the ships are dead. Apart from a couple of outliers, which blow up anyway. Great stuff. Wait a second, is this what I think it is? No. Oh. Chewie finally got his medal. I just love how he's the only person left from the original movies, and this is the arc that they give him. This is actually disgusting. Chewie was literally just a plot device for the entire movie. That's it. The best thing they could do with him being left over as a character is complete this odd arc that's almost meme-like at this point. Chewie deserves a lot more than a medal for putting up with your shit movie. And for one final fuck you, Rey buries Luke and Leia's lightsabers, tells this old bitch that she's Rey Skywalker, then flexes over everyone with gold lightsaber. So, what went wrong with this movie, other than everything? One of my mates wasn't entirely convinced that this wasn't a cunning plot by JJ to completely derail the series, and I can see what he means. Then again, Ryan one-upped him in that regard, but hey, the better question is, what went right? And I can tell you with full accuracy that nothing went right. The plot was stupid, purposely truncated, filled with convenience plot holes and other nonsense. Like I said, the design, props, music, production effects was stellar, honestly top-notch stuff. But it saddens me, thousands of people can work on a film that 1 or 2 people have the majority of a say on 99% of its narrative quality. In the end, all of their work is in service to a script this ridiculously inept that it makes me genuinely sad. At least now that the dust is settled, we can give conclusive comments about the quality of the films as a whole. And I want to try, at some point, considering this took me about half a year to get around to finishing, probably not soon, but at some point I want to take a look at the series as a whole and analyse what went wrong and where, as well as what happened with the characters in this trilogy and their lack of development as a whole. But until then, I'll descend to the bottom of the ocean and wait. Okay, so this is a post-video impromptu little chat thingy. There are quite a few problems with this video, the first being, I say light speed quite a lot. It's not light speed, it's hyperspeed, or hyperspace. I got fucked up because JJ introduced light speed skipping, which is where I got the fucking thing from, and then it's perforated through my script, obviously. Secondly, you'll notice probably quite a bit of static, as well as maybe some clicks. I've tried to get rid of a lot of them, but there'll be some left over, I'm sure, and I'm sorry for that. This is things I have to iron out as I go along, I guess. And, I mean, there are problems in the movie that I've missed, like, I think Mauler pointed out there was the lightsaber pass at the end of the movie. They'd have to be standing on top of each other for that to work, but it's just little things like that I've missed out. And near the end of the video, you can probably notice the quality of the actual critique has taken quite a significant decline. It was really getting to me at this point. The video's taken quite a long time, months, and I had lost the entire thing halfway through, so that didn't help either. So, for my first sort of real attempt at this, I hope I've done it justice. Leave any comments or, you know, constructive criticism in the comments below if you want. Thank you very much for watching, and to everyone that's got this far, I really appreciate it. See ya.